You know what we are speaking about today. If you are on the global Ifa community or you are able to view the WhatsApp status, you already know what we are talking about today. We are talking about the destruction of our educational system, of our indigenous African and Yoruba educational system. We're talking about what it has done to the society. I have been talking about it a lot, which was why I started Ifa College in the first place. A lot of people think Ifa College is just about us gaining knowledge of Ifa. A lot of you think Ifa Business School was just about us gaining the knowledge of Ifa. No, it's about us returning back to what our educational system is. The kind of education that our people had, that our forefathers had before today. That kind of educational system that got us a life, that got us the life that we wanted, that got us the life that was favorable to live, as against what is going on right now. That one was what was taken away from us. So that was what was stolen from us. That was the thing that was taken away from us. And I've been talking about it. Different things keep coming up in the society that pushes us towards that. And one of such things happened recently. In the social media part of Nigeria, there is an uproar that came up about 2-3 days ago titled Olodo Uprising. When I saw it, I smiled. I was like, is this not the same thing we have been saying? Is this not what we have been talking about? Is this not the same thing that we have been talking about, that people think, oh, these Ifa people are just talking about religion? It is more than that. What Ifa represents, what African tradition represents, when we say people should return to their roots, what it represents is more than a religion. In fact, it doesn't even have anything to do with religion. But if you want to call religion, if you want to call spirituality religion, then I will say to you that it's more than that. One of such things is what has come into play right now. When YC talked about, he coined the phrase Olodo Uprising, a lot of people thought it was about TikTok. A lot of people thought it was about Pella. No, it's bigger than that. It's a moral decadence that has gotten into our roots, into our culture, into the people we are. And we're going to break it down today. You are going to understand that this is not something that just started recently. This is not something that just came up with TikTok. This is not something that started with this Gen Z. It's not a generation, it's not a this generation thing. It's something that has always been there. It is something that has always been there. And it would uplift itself. It will show up itself. Turn this on. It would uplift itself and show up itself in different ways. You need to type it in the comment section. The topic of today, you need to type it. Reduce it. Push it back. Push it back, and let it rotate. You need to type it in the... Can you hear me though? Can you hear me like from the at the other side? Is it is clear? Okay. So as you join in, let me know where you're streaming from today. Type in the comment section, let me know where you're streaming from today. If you're on the Global Ifa Community page, if you're in the Global Ifa Community page and you have seen the topic of today, type it in the comment section. If you have seen the topic of today and you're in the Global Ifa Community page, type it in the comment section. Today we are going to be talking about something that I have been shouting and yelling about: the consequences of the destruction of our indigenous knowledge system. That is what gave birth to what is called Olodo Uprising. Now, I don't want to assume that everybody in the audience is Nigerian or everybody in the audience has heard what is happening. So if you are non-Nigerian and you don't know what the word Olodo means, it means a dullard. It means somebody that is not educated, somebody that is not sound when it comes to education, right? And there is an uprising of it. We have seen it in everything that is going on. People have been giving more kudos to people that are not educated. when you have a dollar putting out certain content, it is more celebrated because it looks like that's where the money is going. And the bad thing about it is people still think this thing is about money. And a lot of people still think this thing started with TikTok, started with this generation. Just sit down, wait for it. Let's break it down one by one and understand, how did we get here? How did Yoruba people get here? How did Africans get here? We are the definition of intelligent. We are the definition of super intelligent. We are the definition of knowledgeable people, intelligent people. How did we get here? How did it become a norm that, generally speaking, the word olodo, dullard, is what will just describe general people? How did we get here? Is this not the same Nigerians that leave Nigeria, out of the shores of Nigeria, and go to do great things in foreign countries? These other people that we are calling olodos, where did they come from? Who are they? Where did they stem from? That's what we'll be talking about today, and we will definitely be looking at it from the angle of an African enthusiast, from the angle of an Ifa devotee, from the angle of somebody that is deeply rooted in the culture and the tradition of Yoruba people. But before we start, there's always one thing that we do. First of all, I want to welcome us. I know it's been a while that we have been here. I took a break for a couple of weeks. The Yoruba calendar started officially on the 7th of July. And unlike every other person, unlike the regular calendar where you are the one that decides where the year goes, the year just goes in different ways for people. In Yoruba tradition, it is the Ifa, the Odrifa, that decides where we go. We say Ifa ni afini monomo araye. Ifa is the GPS of life. Ifa is the one that directs us on where to go. So one of that direction that we receive from Ifa as a collective people is the direction of every calendar year. And the Yoruba calendar year for this year, year 10,068, started on the 7th of July. A divination was made for us, which was the Odrifa or Sameji. So we usually take off time to break down, what does that Odu mean for us as a people? What does it mean for us as a person? Collectively, as a group of people, what does that Odrifa mean for us? So we usually take time to break that down. Now, this year is peculiar because it is the year June, not July. Sorry, we are not yet in July. My mind is racing. It was on the 7th of June. Thank you very much for that. Now, this year is peculiar for women, for people that are members of the Egbe Agba, Egbe Iyami, and I belong to about 3 of such groups. So we had several meetings. Immediately the Odu was cast, and that was why I had to take a break. So we're back. We're back with our regular live streamings, and we're back with our regular teachings. For those of you that visited the YouTube channel while we were away from live streaming, thank you very much for going there to increase your knowledge. So today I will be talking about something, but before we start, how do we start? Go upstairs and bring me the stand for this. What's the first thing we do before we go into our teaching? What's the first thing we do?
Our Iba.
What's the first thing that we do?
Our Iba.
Those of you in the comment section, have you forgotten? What's the first thing that we do when we come to the house of Ifa? Give it to him. What's the first thing that we do? Iba. Iba is the first thing that we do. Iba is the first thing that we do. That is our own way of paying homage to the powers that be, respecting the authority that holds the entire universal system. And we make our Iba. So we are going to start today by making our Iba. Turn that off. Akoda ye Asheba o. Asheba ti wáyé ọjọ́. Elédùmarè ọba lè ṣe lè wí, ọba lè wí lè ṣe Asheba, aníkíbà wá ṣe o. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ oníṣẹ́ fàyà tí Asheba, ọba tó lọ kọrin kése, ọba lánàá, ọba lẹ́yìn, ọba títí ayérayé Asheba, aníkíbà wá ṣe o. Kábíyèsí ọba àwọn ọba, ọba tí ń fọba jẹ, ọba tí ò ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀, tí ò ní òpin, ọba dániwáyé Asheba, aníkíbà wá ṣe o. Ajagunmalè olúwo òde ọ̀run Asheba, olúbíkin ọ̀sanyìnbíkin Asheba, ẹ̀yin agbára tó so lé ayé ró àṣèbà, ẹ̀yin agbára tó so ọjọ́ òní ró àṣèbà, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé níbi gbogbo tá a ti ń ṣe fá òun la ṣèbà, àwọn òrìṣà tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ èní la ṣèbà fún, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, gbogbo agbára, gbogbo ìmọ̀, gbogbo ọgbọ́n tó wà nínú ẹ̀kọ́ Ifá lénìí òun ni kẹ́ ẹ fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Níbi gbogbo tá a bá ti péjọpọ̀ lénìí, àṣèbà orí, àṣèbà ẹlẹ́dàá ìkọ̀kọ́nú wa, ọmọdé ni, àgbà ni, dúdú ni, funfun ni, àṣèbà, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Ẹ̀yin ìyá mi Ọ̀pàkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́, ọ̀sà méjì ọ̀sà ẹlẹ́yẹ tó ní ọdún tá a wà yìí, àṣèbà ọ̀sà méjì, àṣèbà ọ̀sà ẹlẹ́yẹ, àṣèbà ẹ̀yin ìyá mi Ọ̀pàkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́, ẹ̀yin alágogo idẹ, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi arógbáṣọ má balẹ̀, ẹ̀yin ọlọ́mú kan tí ń fún ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kan tí ń bẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì ìjà, àṣèbà, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Níbi gbogbo tá a ti ń pe Ifá, tá a ti ń pe àwọn ẹrúnmọlẹ̀, àṣèbà àwọn ẹrúnmọlẹ̀, àṣèbà àwọn òrìṣà wa, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, ọgbọ́n, ìmọ̀ àti òye tó wà nínú ẹ̀kọ́ Ifá èní òun ló máa jẹ́ tiwa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní ṣe lásán, Ifá gbè wá, ìṣẹ̀ṣe á gbè wá láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣèbà gbogbo babaláwo Ìyánífá, bàbá lórìṣà, ìyá lórìṣà, gbogbo àpẹ̀tẹ̀ bí gbogbo àwọn eléwé ọmọ. Àṣèbà gbogbo àwọn tó jókòó tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹrúnmọlẹ̀, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Ẹgbẹ́ ayé ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀run àṣèbà, àṣemúsòmúsò ẹgbẹ́, àṣẹ ẹgbẹ́ àkíkà, lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé àṣèbà yín, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Ọ̀ṣun ṣẹ̀ǹgẹ̀ṣẹ̀ olóòyàn ayọ̀ ládékojú ẹbọra tí ń gbé nínú omi, ìyá mi ẹ̀rùjẹ alágbólódò àṣèbà, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Ifá olókun asọ̀rọ̀ dayọ̀, Ifá ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín, Ifá torí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe àṣèbà, àní kí bà wá ṣẹ o. Ọgbọ́n, ìmọ̀ àti òye, ìfihàn ìlànà tó wà nínú Ifá òun ni kó jẹ́ tiwa o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Níbi gbogbo tá a bá ti ń gbọ́ wa lénìí, níbi gbogbo tá ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi lénìí, mo ní ẹ̀kọ́, ìmọ̀ àti òye tó wà nínú ẹ̀kọ́ Ifá tá a máa kọ́ lénìí òun ni kó jẹ́ tiwa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní fetí ọ̀tún gbọ́ kó gba tòsì jáde, á dénú wa, á dodindi, á mú ire wá, á mú ọlá wá, á mú ìtọ́sọ́nà wá fún wa ní láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣẹ. Mo ṣe àbọrú àbọyè àbọ̀ ṣíṣe fún gbogbo wa nílé Ifá, fún gbogbo wa nílé awo. What we are going to be talking about today, what we are going to be teaching on today, ẹ̀kọ́ Ifá tá a máa kọ́ lénìí, we are going to be talking about. I was asking you if you could hear me.
I could hear you.
It's connected. It's on. Or it's on. All the green buttons are on. Please, in the comment section, if you can hear me, let me know.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Yeah, so as long as you can hear me, that's fine. As long as you can hear me, that's fine. There's nothing I can do to this right now. If you can hear me in the comment section, please let me know. If you can hear me clearly, do let me know that you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, all right. So, in Kota Makolini, this is something I've been talking about for a while. And when we talk about it, people like to think that we are trying to make everything about religion, we are trying to make everything about Ifa, but what they don't know is that everything is about Ifa. Everything is about the knowledge that we are receiving. Now, for those of you that are on the Nigerian side of TikTok, bring the other one. For those of you that are on the Nigerian side of TikTok, there is a phrase that has been flying around on the Nigerian TikTok. We like call it Nigerian TikTok market. There's a phrase that's been flying around in the Nigerian TikTok market, and it's called they've been talking about the phrase Olodo uprising. There was an interview held recently, and the reason I'm talking about this is not to jump on a trend. The reason I'm talking about this is for us as àwọn ọmọ Káàárọ̀ Oòjíire, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá, as people of African descent, to understand that the slavery that captured our forefathers in chain is still very much available. The chains are still there, and the chain is in the mind, the chain is in the spirit, the chain is in the soul. So as you are deconstructing yourself Your deconstruction is not just about spirituality, it's beyond that. I keep saying that Ifa is not just about spirituality. Is there spirituality in Ifa? Yes. Spirituality is just a part of Ifa. The deconstruction has to be in so many ways, and the emphasis on today is that from also the place of education. When I started up the Ifa Business School, one of the things I taught there was that the educational system we have right now, the Western education that we are all used to right now, is a broken system. The Western education we have right now is designed to keep black people in chains, to continue the slavery. And to keep black people in chains. You are not typing anything in the comment section. People are sending me DMs to ask for the contact number. What are you doing? This educational system was designed to keep people in chains, continue to keep them in chains, and you and I have been part of it. Now, when you hear an average person saying things like education is a scam, that person does not mean education is a scam. Education is a big word. Education is a global word. Education is bigger than the four walls of a school. The person doesn't mean education as a global system is a scam. The person means that going to school with the intention of getting a degree to get a job is a scam. Why is it a scam? Because when people go to school and they get a degree, that job that they were promised was not given. That is a scam. So what's a scam? You do something, you want to sell something, and you promise the person a certain return. The person buys it and doesn't get what you promised. They feel that they have been scammed. So that is exactly what people mean when they say education is a scam. They mean that the promises that the government gave to them for going to school, the government has not fulfilled their part of the promise. So at the end of the day, everybody looks at it like, what's the essence of going to school when I'm not going to get the other part of the bargain? Why should I get a student loan to get a bachelor's degree when I'm not going to get a job that can pay off that student loan in my first 5 years of getting a job? If the whole aim is to make money, there are several other ways to make money than going through the four walls of a Western school. Do you understand where that is coming from? Now, it is obvious that Western education has failed a lot of us. And this Olodo uprising, I will give you backstory. For those of you that are non-Nigerians, the word Olodo means dullard, somebody that is not educated, somebody that is half educated, somebody that academically the person is not sound. That's what we call Olodo. So there is an uprising of it. I will give you backstory, but before we get there, Western education has failed a lot of us, in the sense that it has not delivered to us what it promised. Those that have a job have gone into the jobs to discover that the jobs are not there to give you money, and they are not there to make you rich. They are not there to give you money, and they're not there to make you rich. Please, can you delete the person that posted their number in the comment section? Why are you doing that? Taiwo, please, that number does not have anything to do with Ifa College or Ìyánífá Ẹwà. Please, can you block the person? All right, please ignore. That number doesn't have anything to do with us. If I could delete the comment from here, I would have deleted it. So it is not what it has promised a lot of us to be. It has been designed. You know, when you promise somebody something, when you want to scam someone, you don't start from the first day. You give them the first time they buy $10, 10 naira, 10 cedis. They buy from you, they get what they want. The second time they buy 100 naira, $100, 100,000. You give them. Then the third time you promise them, bring 5 million, bring 10 million. Based on the initial trust, they buy, and then you run away with their money. That's exactly what Western education has done to us. So the first set of people that got educated through the Western system, they got results. They got a job.
The job was okay. They could take care of their family. They could live a decent life. The next set of people, it was not a bit like that. But they were still promised a job because there was no other thing that they could do. Now, the third set of people is a generation of you and I. We went to school, we didn't get a job. And then we looked at it like the system has failed us, the education has failed us. Now, let's take a back step. What kind of education did we have before Western education was introduced to us? We had our indigenous African education system. Now, the indigenous African education system did not promise anybody that it will make you rich. The aim was not money. The aim was not money. Was money part of the things that you were going to get when you get educated through the African system that we had? Yes, you would eventually get financial remuneration for it, but it wasn't about money. The sole purpose of getting educated back then was not just about money. Let me break it down for a lot of you that don't understand. Back in the day, let me take a typical Yoruba setting before colonization. Typical Yoruba setting, when a child is born, there is an Ifa divination that is done for that child called Akosejaye or Isentaye. That divination is done to know the path of that child in life. They are going to tell you this is a kind of business that child is supposed to build, this is the kind of career that child is supposed to build. And the parents of the child will continue to guide the child from age 0 into that path. The places that the child will be visiting will be in accordance with that path. So let's take, for instance, that child is supposed to be a carpenter. Ifa says that child is going to go into furniture and woodwork. They already know that. Once the child starts to walk around, once the child becomes of age, maybe age 5, age 6, if his father is not a carpenter, the people that are carpenters around them, they will make sure that the child is visiting the place. That is where education starts from. The child is made to visit, the child is putting wood together. When they see the child taking 2, 3 wood, setting them up on each other, nobody says, put it aside, go and read your book. No, they already know that is where the child is going. Ifa has already said that's what the child is coming to do in this life as a career. That child is encouraged. The moment the child turns either 8, 10, depends on where and what age is accepted where they are, they put the child under the tutelage of an established furniture maker, a very big person who has gone on to have factories in the sawmill, in this and that produces furniture. Now, when we say carpenter in old or ancient Yoruba setting, I hope you are not thinking about the man that just says, please help me repair my stool, and then he'll put a nail and nail it. We are talking about people that build furniture for houses, for the palace, for schools, for hospitals, every furnishing item. People were the one that did it. So you put your child in the one that is available around you, and the child starts to learn. That child is going to be there minimum of like 7 or 8 years, sometimes 10 years, and the child starts to learn. Now, the day the child gets enrolled is not the first day he holds a hammer to start to hit something. No. That child is learning so many things along the line. For the first 1 year, the only thing that child might be doing is just come to the workshop and sweep. All he's doing is sweeping. He's running errands. Drop this thing here, pack this sawdust, throw the nails away, do this. As he's learning that, as he's going through that first year of learning, just sweeping and all of that, he's learning something. He's learning that his work environment has to be tidy. He's learning that his work environment has to be safe. This little sharp object needs to be thrown away. Your customer has to come in to meet a clean environment. He's learning that you have to get to work early. 7 o'clock, he has to be there before his oga is there. He's learning that in the first year. The second year, he probably learns the difference between 3 inches nails and 4 inches nails. That might be the only thing that is learning. The difference between the big hammer and the small hammer. Oh, yeah, go and arrange the tools. That might be the year that he's allowed to arrange the tools. As he's learning arrangement of tools, he's watching his boss. Take for instance, if his boss is married, his oga is married, the wife will come there to visit. He's watching how a man is taking care of his work and his family. His children comes around. There are days when his child will be ill and the wife will call, the child is gone to Yalago's place, or they've gone to the traditional hospital. The man leaves the workshop and follows his wife quickly. He is learning that family comes first. He is watching that from his oga and he's learning that. He's learning all of these things in the first few years that he came. His oga has a family function and they said, on Saturday our oga is having, his sister is having graduation or naming ceremony or something. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ìkọ́ṣẹ́, all the children that are learning, all the young ones that are learning, they will wear ashrebi and follow them there. He is going there to also see, this my boss, he has a family side of him. How is he handling his family? How is he able to do his work and put his family first? He's learning all of that, and that has got nothing to do with money. He's learning how his boss is attending to customers. He will join the trade union. In that trade union, people are being taught community development and community dependence. This is the kind of educational system we had before this Western education came in. This is the kind of educational system that they took away from us. He's learning how his oga is attending to customers. A customer comes with he's shouting. He's learning how his boss is able to calm the situation down. If his boss is also a hot-tempered person and shouts at every customer and the customer is gone, he's learning how not to do that. On that same job, with the same number of years that he's spending there, he's learning. That is education. That does not entirely translate into money, but he's learning it. He gets into the trade union and there is trade society. He's learning how the big bosses in the trade union are putting money together in ajo and contribution to buy property, to build their house, to send their children abroad, to buy cars, to do this. He's learning community value, that we all depend on each other. As against what Western education is teaching us now, that everything is a competition. Everybody has to outdo everybody. As he's learning over the years, he's learning that there is a part of carpentry that he's very good at. He knows that the other, maybe there are 6 of them that are training about the same time. This one is good with chairs. This one is good with table. This one is good with designing on the furniture. This one can carve a lot of things in the furniture. This one can work under 5 minutes. When you need something done with speed, you know this is the person they are learning that from each other. By the time they grow and they are out of that apprenticeship system and they set up their own, the day a customer comes to him and says, please, we need this wedding chair and it has to be delivered in 48 hours, he knows who to go to. They all belong to a trade system. While he's learning, he starts to hammer the stool. Somebody brings his tool and say, this tool, it fell down while the customer was doing her hair. They bring the tool to the carpenter's workshop. By the 3rd year, his boss gives it to him, tells him to take care of it. He will hammer the stool and do it well. His boss will get paid. He is saving his boss money, saving him time. The moment he can do that, when he's on break in his own neighborhood, 2-3 people will bring their stool. He will hammer that stool and get money. While he's still on his apprenticeship, he has started making money. That is the educational system we had before Western education came in. By the time that man has spent 7 years training, look at all the things he has learned. That man cannot open his mouth and say education is a scam. He cannot open his mouth and say education is a scam. Because when he thinks about everything he learned while in that apprenticeship, he cannot call it a scam. It develops you wholly. When a man is going to get married back in the day, he will have àti kọ́ṣẹ́ mọṣẹ́, àti níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́, àti lọ ṣe apprentice níbì kan, àti kọ́ dójú àmì kó tó lè fìyàwó fún. Before they can hand over a woman to him, they know what his trade is. He has learned his trade somewhere and is able to say, now I'm a master of my own. Now I've learned something. Maybe he has completed, maybe he's in the process, but there is an education attached to that man. He cannot sit down at home when his mates are going to caution bìkan kó wá kẹ́sẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ kó sọ pé òun fẹ́ fẹ́ yàwó. Who is going to follow him from his family láti lọ dáná? Ẹni tí ò níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́. Who is going to follow him to go and dáná? That is the educational system we had before Western education came in. Western education came in. If they had brought Western education in as an addition, it will have made sense. Nobody is saying Western education is not good. If it came in as an addition to what our ancestors practice, it will have been good. But it came in as a replacement. Now tell me, how does 6334 replace what I just explained right now? And then we are concerned about Olodo uprising. Nígbà wo làwọn èèyàn ò ní ya Olodo? When won't people become dullards? Everybody that is going to school today, you just want to finish with a 2-1, finish with a first class. You just want to pass so that you can have a good result and get a job. You are not being educated. You are not being educated. You are just reading book to reproduce what is living, and somebody will score you and grade you and mark you based on a system, and then you go into the society with that and get a job. The aim is to get a job. So you spend 6, 3, 3, 4. That's 12 plus 4, 16 years minimum just to get a job. How does that even make sense? So the moment you cannot get that job, people begin to lose interest in education. And you are wondering why a graduate is sounding like that. No, I need to pull up some statistics so that you will not think this is my opinion. I need to pull up some statistics this morning. You know, I usually write down so that it will guide me, because if you leave me here, we'll be here till tomorrow. I don't have any problem with it. As long as I'm snacking on something, I'm drinking water, we will continue to talk. Now, let me start by giving everybody the full picture. I told you I will give you the backstory, the full picture of what happened, because it's not everybody that is watching me right now that has seen what sparked this conversation. And I want everybody in the room to have the same foundation before we take it from there. A few days ago, a Nigerian rapper named YC, spelled YCEE, appeared on this podcast, Afro Political Podcast. And he said something that cracked the Nigerian internet wide open. He said, and I'm going to quote him directly, he said, Nigerian society is no longer celebrating academic excellence. It is not even the Yahoo culture anymore. It is now Pella culture. This Olodo uprising we are witnessing is terrible. It feels like we are trying so hard to accommodate ignorant and unintelligent people so that they will not feel bad, because now they seem to be the majority. He used the word Olodo, which is a Yoruba word that means dullard, somebody considered academically weak, and he used it to describe what he sees as a cultural shift in Nigeria, where ignorance is not just tolerated, but it is rewarded. Now we are going to come back to who exactly is rewarding these Olodos, who exactly is rewarding this culture and this system. He pointed specifically to a young TikTok streamer named Pella, whose real name is Habib Hamzat. He's a symbol of that culture. He's a young man who has built millions of followers through live stream and viral content without a formal education. Of course, Pella fired back, and he accused YC of using his name to go viral. But his response stopped everyone And it's the response that stopped everyone came from Bella's partner. Her name is Jarvis, and she said, I went to school, I graduated. Since the government did not provide jobs for us, what exactly are you expecting us to do? And the Nigerian internet exploded. Because both of them landed something true. Both of them are true. Two things can be true at the same time. The entire country has been arguing over it. Now, here is what I want us to know before we go further. YC is not wrong that something has shifted. He's not wrong that there is a problem, but he's looking at the wrong thing. And today I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Because this conversation that YC started is a very important one and is worthy of note. But where it needs to go is somewhere that is much deeper than just a disagreement between a rapper and a content creation or a content creator. Let me tell you what I believe, and I will back it up with proof. Nigeria is not producing olodos. Nigeria is not producing ignorant people. Nigeria is producing more people that have stopped believing in the system that used to save them. And this is a completely different problem. Now, people not wanting to be academically or westernly educated is not a problem of the people. You cannot blame people for not wanting to go to school. You cannot blame people for not wanting to be educated. The system is not saving them anymore. The system says go to school and get a job and make money. In the last 40 years, how many people have gone to school, gotten a job and made money? The system has failed. That's the truth. Jarvis responded, and her response is true. She said she went to school. She doesn't have a job. It was a couple of days ago that the wife of the president, the person of Madam Remi Tinubu, said that people should start frying akara and making kuli that she and her husband, they've helped Nigerians enough. People can make money from kuli and akara. Imagine. So imagine that the wife of the president says we should go and be frying bean cake, akara, 100 naira. How much are they selling akara today? 200 naira. We should stand in the sun or maybe make a shade and carry a very big frying pan, pour oil into it and be frying akara. And I'm a graduate. And be making kuli. No insult to people that fry akara and make kuli for a living. But if that is the thing, why am I going to school then? That's the question. Why do I need to go to school? If at the end of the day, the president's wife will advise us to fry akara and sell kuli. Nobody needs a formal education to fry akara and sell kuli. So if you see the society becoming olodo without Western education, these are the people that funded it. I'm a graduate. I don't have any regret over my certificate. I had my BSc in Computer Science Technology from Babcock University in 2005, and I finished with a 2-1, a second class upper division honors. We are still going to come back to that because something is vexing me at the moment, but let's not go into that right now. Have I ever used my certificate for anything? No. The type of life I envisioned for myself, the type of money I wanted to make in this life and the type of life I wanted to live, there was no job that could offer me at the time I was in school. Bank job, telecommunications, those were the two things that was reigning when I just left school in 2005. And I told myself, it is not possible. There is no office job that is designed to give me the kind of money that I want. So there is no point going to get a job. Let me sit down and set up a system. And my father said something. He said, if I knew that business was what you wanted to focus on, instead of putting money into sending you into a private university, you will have just gone to UI or Unilag and use the other part of the money to set up a business. Shey you see? Even my father thought of it that at this point we have wasted money to get a degree if you are not going to use it. That is what Western education degree has been reduced to, just money. So when people have alternative way to make money, why would they go to school first? Why don't they just jump into it? And this school we're even talking about, is it that easy? Those of you that are graduates, was it easy to bag a BSc? Even private university, that a lot of you think private university graduates is easy. Those of us that went to private university, we know it was not easy. Education, Western education is not easy like that. I went into school to study computer science, and then I was taking history and international whatever. I was taking use of library. I was taking use of English. I took a course called God in Modern Society. I took a course called History and World Civilization. What am I doing with all of that? What am I doing with all of that? What am I doing with all of that? It was not easy reading those courses because I hate reading history, but we had to do it to get that degree. And at the end of the day, what has that degree done for me as a person? Nothing. But will I as a person say education is a scam? No. Because I know that education is beyond getting a Western degree. Somebody asked a question. Please read that question. Somebody asked a question that has...
Why is the first lady not presenting apprenticeship program?
Because the first lady has a mission to keep people in poverty. It's simple. The first lady has a mission. She and her husband has one mission: to keep as many Nigerians below poverty level. We already know that. Does anybody need to be telling us that? So that's why we are all looking for alternative. Now, you are following me somewhere. Follow me. We are going somewhere. Let's go to the data. I did not come to this conversation like this with opinions only. I came with evidence. So let me show you what is actually happening in Nigeria right now, because this debate deserves numbers, not just feelings. Can somebody get me my glasses? Give it to your brother. Get me my glasses. Now, I need you to listen to these figures. Listen to these figures and also go and confirm these figures. The World Bank confirmed in April 2026, the time of recording this video is June what? What day of June? June 28, 2026 is the time of recording this video, in case you are catching a replay years after. As at April 2026, World Bank confirmed that 63% of Nigerians are currently living below the poverty line. 63% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. Hold that. That is 140 million people are living below poverty line. That's not a projection, it's not a forecast, it's not in the future. It's the present reality of Nigeria, the giant of Africa. 140 million people are poor. Only 28% of Nigerian primary school children can read proficiently. Primary school children, I'm not saying children that have not seen the four walls of school, is only 28% of them. According to world statistics, go and confirm it, is only 28% that can read. Meaning that out of every 10 children that is enrolled in primary school in Nigeria, is only 2, not up to 3. Let's put it at 3. Let's round it off to 3. Let's round it off to 30%. Is only 3 out of every 10 primary school children that can read proficiently, that can read in English proficiently. Even in Yoruba, it will shock you that a lot of Yoruba speaking people whose only language is Yoruba, they cannot read and write in Yoruba. So don't come here to say you are basing it on English. Is it not what they taught us? It's not English that we are communicating with. How many of you Yoruba speaking people can read, write and speak Yoruba fluently on a scale of 8 out of 10? Like if you read, write and speak Yoruba, they will give you 80%. How many people? Some of my babalawos will be texting me in Yoruba, and I will tell them, put me on this thing, put the tonal marking on it. If you don't put tonal marking on it, I cannot read it. You are writing OWO. I don't know if it's 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 OWO. They don't know how to put tonal marking on Yoruba word, and that is the only language that they speak. That's the education we are talking about. That's the Olodo uprising we are talking about. Your only language is Igbo. You cannot write it with the tonal marking. You can't even write it. So you see that this is not about English. Okay, let's continue to look. They said 3. Less than 3 out of 10 students that is studying in the primary school in Nigeria can actually read proficiently. Not university students, not secondary school, primary school students. Now, 96% of employed Nigerian youth work in the informal sector. 96% of the Nigerian youths that are employed are working in an informal sector. They are working outside of corporate Nigeria. They are working outside of what you call, I got a white collar job. So it means that it's only 4% of Nigerian youths that is working, that is employed in corporate Nigeria. Just 4%. Mark these figures and go and check them. I pulled them up online too. I didn't make them up. It means that the formal economy in Nigeria, that economy that YC is essentially defending, it employs less than 4% of Nigerian youths. 4% of the people that are employable, that have gone to school and gotten degrees, only 4% of them actually have a job that they applied for with their degrees in a formal setting. So, excuse me, why do the rest of the people want to go to school and spend money and time and efforts in getting that degree? What is encouraging it? Nothing. I don't blame them. Let's call a spade a spade. It's easy to point fingers at somebody and call the person Olodo, but can we take back steps and ask ourselves how we got to that place? Okay. The statistics also show that 23% of young Nigerians are actively looking for work and cannot find it. Another 32% have given up entirely. They are not even looking for a job. They are not even applying. They don't want to go through the emotional, mental, and psychological stress of no. 200 people apply. It's only 2 people that they are going to pick. One of them is the CEO that is going to pick the person himself. Then they will pick the other person on merit. Meanwhile, 200 people have applied. That's the reality of what formal education is. That degree that they went to school to get, that's the only thing that is being used for. That is the only thing that your degree is okay for. In Nigeria, you don't need a degree to set up a business. In China, you do. I registered my company in China a couple of months ago. Bachelor's degree is a requirement before you can set up a company in China. So at least people will go to school in China, and the government is giving them reason to go to school, which is either you get a job or you start a business. You need it. You don't need it in Nigeria. So you wonder why an average Nigerian is writing I am. They don't know the difference of where to write am and I am, and I with the apostrophe M. You wonder why somebody is making a statement and is saying the most worst part of this school is where they were supposed to learn that. While they were in school, they didn't know that one of the things they could learn was to be able to speak English fluently and communicate with the rest of the world in fluent English. The only reason they were in school is get a degree and go. Their parents were buying results for them so that they can move to the next class and get a degree and get a job. Because at the end of the day, when you get a job, the organization is still going to train you on actually doing the job. A political science graduate gets a job in a bank. Bank is still going to train him on how to work in a bank. So at the end of the day, he knows that his political science courses are just there. You are wondering why people are like, this is where it starts from. Let's not lie to ourselves. Again, listen, I'm an advocate of Western education. I love when people go to school and get a degree, even if it's just for pride. Every degree I've gotten is just for pride. I don't need it for nothing. Maybe I can become a politician tomorrow and my degree might be needed. Or like when I set up my company in China now, my degree was needed. So yes, it worked for me. But aside from that, it's just for pride. Even if it's just for that, I'm happy. So I'm not an advocate of don't go to school. What I'm saying here is this: something destroyed the educational system we once had, and this is what they replaced it with. And if you know what is good for you, as you are going to school to get a Western degree, please take your time to educate yourself the way your forefathers knew education was. Find out that skill that you were born to use in this. Nobody was born into this world without a skill that they will survive with. And at the end of the day, that skill is what you are going to make it with. There is no job. There is no educational qualification. There is no employer that has designed this business to make you rich. It's not. Every system is designed to keep you at a certain level, paycheck to paycheck. So if you want to make it in life, do more than just get a university degree. But is it important? Yes. But do more than that for yourself. Sit down. Find out what is that thing to be more to be your ability to be more. Find out what that thing is that you are inborn with. If you are an Ifa devotee, go and do your Itefa and find out the career and the business that your Ori has picked before you even came into this world, and go and get educated on that. Let your everyday life be about getting educated and becoming knowledgeable. Western education has failed us. Yes, every other form of education does not fail. And as it stands right now, every other form of education, you need to get it yourself. As an adult human being, the responsibility is on you to educate yourself in every possible way and stop showing up as a dullard. I will give you examples of how people are shown up as a dullard. I don't know if I'm able to pull up that video, but you help me turn this on. You help me pull up that video when the time comes. Now, here's another number that makes me the most angry. Nigeria allocates just 6.1% of the national budget to education. 6.1%. 6.1 out of 100. Let me explain to you. Somebody has 100 naira and the person removes 6 naira and says take. That's 6% out of 100%. That is what this government has allocated to education. So you see that the government itself is not taking education seriously. Why should I? Why should Pella take it seriously when the government itself is not taking it seriously? Why? The only time people's certificate is important is when they are trying to get a scholarship to Japa. The people that read and want to use their certificate to work want to Japa, want to law already. You see, the rest of us that is left, it only sense in our rárá. Àwọn tó ní sense ti lọ, wọ́n ti lọ fi degree wọn ṣe nǹkan tó dá. The people that have sense among us that is not olodo, they have dusted their certificate. They've gone to the abroad to use their certificate. The rest of us that's left, the people that have sense among us is few. It's just logical statistics. Brazil has a program, a scholarship program coming up now. You will see the number of people that will hit Brazil. Do you know why you don't have a lot of Nigerians roaming into those other countries? They've not found opportunity to go. Cape Verde was one I was hearing a couple of months ago. Everybody is running there. Degree. For somebody that has applied for a scholarship program to do masters and take his family abroad, it's because the person knows that academically he or she is sound. Are you going to put in for masters when you yourself, you know that your first degree certificate you carried, you paid your way through, you slept your way through to get it? You will not go and do masters. You too, you will not sell your father's property and go to UK and do masters. It's because you know that to a certain extent, Ori Egbewe is why you are looking for scholarship to go and study abroad. So those set of people have left. Those that are left now are people that know that school will show off for them. People that don't have money. School will show off for them, but they don't have money. What they are looking for right now is money. They are not talking about it. They are looking for money. People are looking for what is going to pay them. And newsflash, the algorithm of social media is doing that for them. So we cannot just sit down in a podcast and guilt trip people into telling them they are olodo and thinking that that's going to change anything. No, you are attacking a problem at surface level. It's deeper than that. Give people the reason to get educated. Give people the reason. Let them see what real education is. I'll give you an example. Please, can I have that phone? Please, can I have my phone? I would flip my phone in a bit and I will show you something. And I'm going to call out, and this thing is personal to me, or I would give you the reasons why it's personal to me. I will flip my phone now and I will show it to you. Let me see. So that you will understand what's happening and how bad it is. You understand what is going on and how bad what is going on is. I know a lot of you have seen that video. Somebody, once Nigerian celebrity, I don't even know his name, but maybe if you people see him, you can recognize him. One Nigerian celebrity, people called him out and said that he is. I'm going to see video and see. I think I did that video on this phone, right? I posted it on my status this morning. Yeah, I will find it. Let me see. Okay, yes, I posted it here. I'm going to pull out video here. That video that I was talking about this morning, about the guy that said he had a degree. Okay, I don't know where I took it out from, but I would flip my camera shortly and I will show it to you. Let me flip my camera now and play that video. Let me see. How do I flip my camera? Flip camera. Okay. So I'm flipping my camera now and I'm going to play this video.
You know, I didn't take
I'm
this.
coming.
But he had a first class.
I went to Bangkok University. I graduated with first class offer. I studied biochemistry. Okay, I was the best in my set. When I know they use me, they pray.
Please, hold on. I will do it again.
But he had a first class.
I went to Bangkok University. I graduated with first class offer. Go and ask. I studied. Oh God, if you hear what it, I studied biochemistry. Okay, I was the best in my set. When I know they use me, they pray. So most of them, I will just call my life on our face, whether I'll be on a mate. Like I see you most of them now. Okay, more than a year, I see you most of them now. More than know it's what they do.
No, as a matter of fact, you know, I didn't take this whole thing.
Now, we've seen that video, right? A lot of us have seen the video. Somebody said it's not in Nigeria. If Adumade said it's not in Nigeria, is it this person you're talking about that he said it's not in Nigeria? Okay. Because his name is
People from Edo. So I will explain something to you before Uncle. Sure. I will explain something to you. Oh yeah, bring the video to me. We will analyze that video one by one and we will see what Olodo uprising is actually, what Olodo uprising actually is. We will analyze it one by one. So you see that video, I did a screenshot, I will analyze it. That video was talking about a celebrity who was saying that maybe people were coming to his live streaming to talk down on him, also calling him Olodo. And the guy said, he came out to make a statement and he put a degree, a certificate out. That certificate was what I showed you. That certificate is right in front of me, so I will analyze it. The certificate reads Babcock University, Ilisha, Remo, Ogun State. That's why I'm taking it personal. I'm a graduate of Babcock University. I graduated from Babcock University 21 years ago with a Bachelor's of Science in with a Bachelor's of Science in the degree Computer Science Technology, and I finished with a second class upper division. So it's upsetting me that this guy is saying that he finished from the same school I finished from with the first class. Is a lie. I will continue to mail Babcock University until they come and respond to this thing publicly, and here is why. Now, after that degree, after that name, Babcock University, the next thing that comes out is here. It says Babcock University Biochemistry and Computer Club. That's the next thing. Babcock University Biochemistry and Computer Club. Throughout my stay in Babcock University, we had a club called BUCC. We call it BUCC, the Babcock University Computer Club. I was an executive member at one point. I don't know the relationship between biochemistry and computer, that the Department of Biochemistry and Computer we made together and form a club. I'm yet to understand that, because I've sent a message, a mail. So, backstory, while I was in Babcock, I was the second set. First set was in 1999. First set to fifth set, I was aware that once you finish from school, Babcock will offer you a job. If you want to do your masters in Babcock, they will offer you a job. So a lot of people in my set got a job in Babcock. So they are still there right now. And I'm asking them if there is a department that has been formed, a club that was formed between biochemistry and computer. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. Because the relationship in biochemistry and computer, but let's leave that. The next part says honorary certificates. That young man said, I graduated from Babcock University. I studied biochemistry. Between when he said I studied and he said biochemistry, if you notice, he stalled. He was trying to remember the name of the course. We know how these things work. He stalled and he quickly pulled up the name of the course as biochemistry. He said he was the best student. He finished with a first class upper. And the certificate he has reads honorary certificate. This is part of the Olodo uprising. People are in his comment section saying, you see, he went to school, he's a graduate, you people should stop talking down on people. His fans, the community of Olodo people, you don't know the difference between an academic certificate and an honorary certificate. Since this is an educational platform, let me educate you. Academic certificate is the certificate you get when you go to school. You register in the school, you have a matric number, you write all the courses, you pass and you satisfy every exam and assignment, and then you get a certificate after graduation. It's called an academic certificate. When the tertiary institution looks at you and says, we acknowledge what you have done in our school or in the society, they award you a certificate of honor. That is why it is called honorary. It's from the root word honor. We are just honoring you with this thing. You did not write the exam. You are not admitted to the school. You didn't graduate from the school. That is what an honorary certificate is. So whoever it is that gave this young man this certificate in Babcock University, if they really did, they just did it to honor him. You see why I said Babcock University needs to come and make a disclaimer. He didn't get admitted into Babcock. He did not graduate from Babcock. He was not the best student in his class. Based on this certificate, except if he has another certificate. But do you know why I know he doesn't have another certificate? We'll get there. They said presented to, they put his name there. In recognition of your outstanding performance and contribution to biochemistry in Babcock University, they said your outstanding performance and contribution. A student that goes to school to study, the school does not give you degree and say your contribution. What did you contribute? You came here to learn. Please, those of you that have BSc, be looking at your results, your certificate, and tell me where they put Kini there. And let me show you what a certificate looks like. They said he contributed to biochemistry, so we don't know what he contributed to biochemistry, and they gave him this honorary. They now said, look at the next line here, it's very tiny, you might not see it. They said, for achieving first class upper. That's the part that makes me cringe. It upsets me. It literally feels like dagger through my skin. It feels like a sharp object is crawling under my skin. Stop it. What was the meaning of first class upper? You see the Olodo uprising that we're talking about? You can't even get your fact right. You can't even go to ChatGPT and get your fact right. Family and blessing CEO. This is them. Olodo, àwọn tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. That one too went on national TV to defend stage 4 cancer that she claims to have without having knowledge about the cancer. She just went there to disgrace her village people. That's what this one is doing. For the sake of education, and those of you that were in the comment section of that guy saying, yes, he finished from Babcock, see the results. There are 4 first class, second class upper, third class, pass and fail. There are 5 classes in a bachelor's first degree, 5 classes in your result. First class, second class, third class, pass and fail. Those are the 5 classes. Pass and fail is not called a class, but those are the 5 classes. The only class that has a division in all those 5 classes is second class. That's the only class that has a division, and it is second class upper division, second class lower division. Emphasis on the word division. A tertiary institution will never write you a certificate without adding the division. Second class upper division, second class lower division. And you know though, first class and third class don't have divisions. First class is first class, third class is third class. So there is no school that will write first class upper. It's not possible. It's not a slip of the typewriter, it's not a slip of the computer, it's not a slip of hand, it's not a slip of tongue, it's not a slip of nada. It is a lie. And to think that that young man believes what he said, and he said it with confidence, and the fact that he thinks the rest of us will believe it, that is the Olodo uprising they are talking about. If you want to say something, have knowledge, educate yourself. That's the education we are talking about. You don't need to pass through the 4 walls of a tertiary institution before you know this. You can learn this thing. As long as you have chosen to come and speak about it, get information about it. Oh, they have it in Olodo institution. Okay. But Babcock University is not one of it because it's paining me. I know how much my daddy paid to get me a degree in Babcock University. I know how much hard work I put before I got second class upper division from Babcock University in computer engineering tech. I know how much I put into it. So you cannot come to social media space and be showing ground level ignorance and attach it to the name of my alma mater. It's not possible, because very soon they will start looking at all of us as the same thing. They will now say, is that not your Babcock that you people finish from? No, this one is not my own Babcock. Now let's go further. They said it was signed on 4th of March 2023, meaning that this young man gained admission into Babcock in 2019 in case he studied biochemistry. Please, can he give us his matric number? There is nothing anybody wants to do with your matric number. It's not your DNA, it's not your old refer. Can you give us your matric number? My own matric number is 00/0545. Go to Babcock and confirm it. I finished from school 26, I will say 26, I will say 21. 2026, Lara Yabi. 21 years ago, I still know my matric number offhand. 00/0545. That was my matric number in Babcock. I need the guy to come and produce his matric number because this is insulting on our parents that spent money to get us degree in that school, on those of us that went there, studied hard to get a degree, on the entire institution, on Nigerian education system itself. But Nigeria does not care about that, so it's okay. Now, this certificate is signed by BUCC president and BUCC sponsor. BUCC is acronym for Babcock University Computer Club, of which I was a member while I was in school. Now we are members of Babcock University Alumni Association. Babcock University Computer Club has nothing to do with biochemistry, I repeat. Now, look at that. And this young man came on a live streaming and was saying this with his full chest. You see how sad it is that people have reduced education to money, and the moment they can show money, they feel that they don't need to be educated. This is one of them. This is one of them. Another female celebrity, I will not mention her name because a lot of people allowed her to go that year. A lot of people allowed her to go that year. In the US, Canada, and England, they even have to cross-check all your certificates before anything. Definitely. Even in Nigeria, I told you that I applied for, what's it called? I opened a company in China. The Chinese government has to, before they can receive my certificates, hard copy of my certificate, it has to pass through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Education, to verify and certify. Jọba mi block ẹni, ó tún ti dé o, ìtòpá yẹn, ó tún ti dé, Ọlọ́run ló mọ iye account tẹ́ni yẹn ń ṣí. To verify that the certificate is genuine before you can take it out of Nigeria to use it. Now, the female celebrity I was talking about, she came on a live streaming and she was doing, what was it called? Their defense will be is richer than you. Yes, I'm still coming to that. The lady came to talk about, she was motivational speaking. She was talking to young ladies and she was talking about how she had a first degree in law and now she's in, I don't know if it's fashion or something, and she has built an empire for herself. And the lady said, I had a BSc in law, but right now I'm building my fashion empire. Take, for instance, his fashion. I saw the video on Instablog Nigeria that year on Instagram. BSc law. That was, my brain just tuned off. I didn't hear anything she said after then. I ran to the comment section. I almost fell down running to the comment section. Where is the comment section? I got there. I read about 60 something comments. Nobody was saying anything about it. Nobody said anything about BSc in law. That was where I knew, something is going on in this country. But if I said it out, people will say, you are judging people by Western education, this and this and that one. At least she's rich, she has made it. I'm not saying she's not rich. I don't have a problem with her money. I'm saying BSc law, bawo. If you want to say, I keep saying it, if you want to say something, be sure of what you are saying. It's part of education and intelligence. Understand the fact that the people that are listening to you, they are also thinking. It's an insult on you and the people you are listening to when you come up with these things. As part of education, to reconstruct the Olodo people that will be watching this video. When you go to a tertiary institution, post high school, post secondary school, they give, it's gone off. When you go to a tertiary institution, your first degree is called bachelor's degree. Bachelor's. It's called bachelor's degree because there are different type of bachelor's degree. It's called bachelor's. There are different types of it. That's why we say bachelor's degree. Now, there's bachelor's of science for people that are in the sciences. We will pull it up. There's bachelor's of science for people in the sciences. So if the course that you studied is not a science course, if it is not a science course, you don't have any business saying you have a BSc. BSc is bachelor's of science. Law is an arts course. is under the faculty, in fact, it's not under faculty of arts, there's faculty of law on its own, but it is not science. It is considered art. But in a university that offers law, there is a faculty on its own called faculty of law. The bachelor's they award there is not bachelor's of science. There is bachelor's of art for people under faculty of art. Faculty of arts is àwọn olówà ní under faculty of arts yẹn náà education àwọn theatre art àwọn kìíní kan, those ones they have BA, they call it BA, bachelors of art. Those of you in sciences, biochemistry, microbiology, computer science, and lab tech, one thing like that, we have BSc. Now because BSc is the most common, Auntie picked BSc and combined it with law. That's not a slip of tongue, that is an olodo, that is a plain liar. That's a blatant lie. That's an olodo that doesn't even have the intelligence to lie. She wants to lie and she's lying without knowledge. If you have a degree in law, it's called LLB. LLB, let's find out what that LLB is. What does that acronym mean? What is the meaning of the acronym LLB? Let's find out what LLB. LLB is what people that study law receive. LLB is a Latin word that means legum baccalaureus, something that sounds like legum bachelors. It is the undergraduate law degree in most common law countries. LLB is the acronym for Bachelors of Law. Now, LLM should be the master's equivalent. Is that okay? You are learning today so that you will not be olodo. Be learning it today in the comment section. She said it boldly and proudly, and her fans, their brain has tuned up because all of them, yes. So LLM is the Masters of Law. That's the master's equivalent. MSc is the Masters of Science. MBA is Masters of Business Administration. Now, because medical science, medicine and surgery is under Department of Science, it's not BSc Medicine. Before you go and lie to me, I have BSc Medicine from University of Ibadan. It's a lie. It is called MBBS. For people that studied medicine, their first degree is called MBBS. Let's find out what that one means. What is the meaning of the acronym MBBS? You are learning something today. Since you have refused to go to school, stop showing yourself as olodo. It's called MBBS. MBBS stands for Masters of Medicine, Bachelors of Surgery. That's MBBS. That's what people get when they have first degree in medicine in most countries, including Nigeria. These are basic things. You don't need to go through 4 walls of school to learn this. I beg of you, educate yourself. And it doesn't have anything to do with English. You can also be awarded a BA in law. Yes, that's why I said it depends on the country. For the country where I come from and I speak for, it's called LLB. Those of us that use the UK educational system, is called LLB here. But in no country is it called BSc law. There is no Jupiter that they give BSc law. Now, get educated. It doesn't have anything to do with English. Now, I'm going to talk about the English part of it. I know we are a society that grades people's level of intelligence by their eloquence in English language, which is absolutely wrong. They are very educated and exposed people, very intelligent people that don't speak English. English is just a language. So you can be intelligent and be a native Yoruba speaker, native Igbo, native French, native Spanish, native whatever. You can even be native No, you cannot be native Pidgin English. But Pidgin English might be the language that you speak most fluently, and you can still be intelligent. But here is what will not make you intelligent. You will never be considered intelligent if you don't understand English very well. Then you come out into the public place and you are speaking English anyhow. You are constructing English with grammatical errors. And then you want to defend it with English is not my first language, English is not my mother tongue. Then don't speak it. Don't speak it. If you must speak it, learn it correctly. It's not that hard. If you must speak English, learn it correctly. Let me give you an example in Yoruba. I'm an Iyanifa. Ifa is widely spread. There are so many Babalawos and Iyanifas in the diaspora. Imagine somebody that is a Babalawo in the diaspora wanting to wanting to communicate with me in Yoruba. Then the person is trying to say, ọmọ ọwọ́ kì í kú lójú ọwọ́, ọmọ ẹsẹ̀ kì í kú lójú ẹsẹ̀. Then the person now said, ọmọ òwò kì í kú lójú òwò. That's not that's rubbish. That's rubbish. Grammatically, that is wrong in Yoruba. You are saying something else. Omo in Yoruba is a unanimous word that we have accepted as detergent. Is a brand of detergent, but collectively in Yoruba, that's what we call detergent. Owo is not owo. It sounds like owo in Yoruba. It sounds like money. Owo sounds like the nickname for that man. What's that man in that movie? Owo blow. That is grammatically wrong in Yoruba. So when somebody comes to me and is speaking Yoruba like that, I just said, it's okay. I understand English, speak in English. Iyanifa, I'm just learning Yoruba and communicating. You have not learned it. Go and continue learning. Everything you said now is wrong. I can't understand you. Or imagine that you are just learning to speak Yoruba. You are writing Yoruba without the tonal marking. You are not making sense. You are writing Yoruba with grammatical error. It is not your native language. Speak a language that you understand. So don't misconstruct English. Don't speak English with grammatical errors and gaslight the rest of the world into saying English is not my mother tongue. Are you now saying that because I'm not speaking English, I'm not intelligent? I didn't say that. I just said this is grammatically wrong. If you do not understand English, speak your native language. Make your videos in Yoruba, subtitle it in English. We watch Korean movies now. Koreans are not trying to speak English with grammatical errors. If you are in a public place, tell them that your preferred language is Yoruba. They should give you an interpreter. If they need you there, they will get an interpreter for you, or bring an interpreter that you trust to say, I don't know how to communicate in good English. This is the interpreter that will interpret for me. So don't come here and gaslight us into saying, are you now saying that because people cannot speak English well, they are not intelligent? We are not saying that. We are saying your English is grammatically wrong. And some of us, our brain just switches off. I was asking a friend of mine a couple of days ago. He's also a Babalawo. I asked him, that's before I even saw this. In fact, I think it was 2 days before this whole Olodo uprising thing. And then he said, I asked him, I said, am I being classist or am I being segregatory when somebody speaks English or writes English with a grammatical error and my brain just turns off? Like, I literally can't hear anything past that again. I was asking him, maybe I'm classist or maybe I'm judging people based on English. Or if it's a bad thing, let me start to correct it. And he smiled at me and said, if your Ori is telling you are classist, then you are classist. I said, well, I don't know. That day, I was on my phone. I was speaking to my friend on my other phone. I was holding my phone, watching a video on somebody's status, and the person said, one of the most worst things. I didn't hear anything after that. My brain just goes off after that. After you make that kind of statement, I don't hear anything again. is don't do it. You're not good with English, speak Yoruba, subtitle it. Those of us that understand Yoruba will hear you. Those that don't understand Yoruba, we will read the subtitle. Don't do it. Don't use he instead of she. It makes you, it's olodo. That's what the society will say. You cannot guilt trip us into thinking otherwise. How do we know that you are intelligent when you cannot even communicate in a language successfully? Pick the language you can communicate in successfully. Communicate your intelligence through that language. If Yoruba is your language, sit down today, learn how to read and write fluently, write very well in Yoruba, learn how to write very well in Yoruba, if Yoruba is a language that you have chosen. Intelligence is not measured in language, but in one of the ways we measure people's intelligence is via their communication. That's the only way I can know if you are intelligent. I need to hear you speak for the most part. So if you are not good with English, there is no need coming to make grammatical blunder in English and then gaslighting us into saying you cannot judge my level of intelligence with my English. You have given us nothing else to judge you with. You have given us nothing else to perceive you with. So please, education is important. Western education might have failed us. Yes, it was designed to fail us at the end of the day. But let's return back to the education that our forefathers built this continent on. Your life is in your hands now as a Nigerian. The president's wife has said, go and sell akara and kuli. You have heard it. Your life is, your future is in your hands now. Your life is in your hands now. Your education is in your hands now. The national budget has just 6.1% allocated to education. You should know that the future of your children's education is in your hands right now. If your children are going to focus on the same educational system that has failed them, that has failed you, or if you are going to really sit down and look at what your forefathers built education as and follow that path. We are educating ourselves every day. Your social media FYP, your social media timeline is your basic form of education today. The algorithm will bring to you the kind of content that they know that you are ready to consume. If the content that keeps coming on your feed, on your timeline, on your FYP is association of these Olodo people, it's because you asked for it. I'm not asking you not to consume entertaining content, but you need to define what is entertaining and what is disgusting. And here is what it is. Somebody had mentioned earlier, I said I will come back to that part. The person mentioned that, oh, these people will talk, they will say because you don't have as much money as the Olodo people and you are jealous of them. I saw a video this morning, somebody saying that those of us that are educated and schooled, we are just jealous of them. It saddens my heart that this is where we are right now. It saddens my heart, but let me explain to you how we got there. It's not as if intelligent, educated, eloquent people, brilliant people are not putting out content. No. It's because the algorithm favors empty trash content. You can put it to test. Create a video, the same number of minutes, 3 minutes, same you, educating the society about something that is important. Create another video, the same you, half nude, shaking your butts online, doing all sorts of ridiculous things, cracking derogatory and messed up jokes. Post both of them at the same time, under the same algorithm, put it out and see the one that the algorithm will favor. See the one that is likely to go viral more. See, this one does not even have anything to do with us. is the algorithm. The algorithm is continuing slavery through that form. Western world is slavery is being continued through that. The chains are being continued through that. The chains on our forefathers was on their hands and their legs. The chains that is on this generation is on their mind through the content that they are consuming. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, right? So let's say TikTok is owned by China, quote and unquote. I was in China a couple of months ago. I was there for about a month. This TikTok that you and I view is called international TikTok. Then there is China TikTok. You cannot view international TikTok in China without a VPN, meaning that you are viewing international TikTok in China against the will of the government of China. They are the ones paying these influencers. They are the ones paying these influencers. When you say immorality sells, somebody is paying for it. In this case of what YC was regarding as Olodo uprising, he was referring to, he called it a Pella culture. This doesn't even have anything to do with Pella as a person. It is the entire community of content creators that are like that. The algorithm is the one paying them. Nigerian government is not the one paying them. We that we are watching them, quote and unquote, we are not the one paying them. People are watching my content. I don't get paid for it. You make a content that is educational, that is intelligent. It is either it will be taken down because they will say you said something that violated something. You are trying to correct the ill in a society. They take it down or they shadow ban it. But you put out content that is messed up. People that are not following you, people will see it against their will. Everything I know about Pella today in the last 72 hours that I first heard of him, I know it against my will. I don't know him. I first of all heard his name when this Olodo uprising thing came. I don't know him. Those that are paying and funding this are the same people that put our forefathers in chains. And that chain is hanging around social media platforms right now. But you still have a choice whether to wrap that chain around yourself or not. You can build your social media feed. You can build your social media timeline. You can build your FYP by yourself. You can use the block button to remove all those things away from you. There is a reason they are paying those content creators more than they are paying people that are educating you. There is a reason. You think it's because they love Nigerians and they are trying to reduce the rate of unemployment in Nigeria. If that is what, then they should pay every content creator equally. They should push every content equally. Let's also now go to the brands that are making these people their brand ambassadors and influencers. Some people own those companies. Somebody has made their fame from emptiness. I don't want to use any other word other than that. And the person has built followership and the person is trending. And you know that the moment the person endorses your product, customers are going up like this. You choose to use that person as against the one that represents morality, intelligence, education, and brain. You are part of it. You are part of them. So when the Western education has failed these people, they promised us that when we get to school, we get a degree, we get a job. We didn't get a job. We took student loan. Our parents sold their lands to send us to school. So many people are in private universities today, not because their parents can afford it, just because their parents don't want them to go through the disadvantages that is surrounding public schools. They don't want them to experience strike. They want 4 years to be 4 years. They sell property, squeeze themselves to send their children to school. You finish from school, there is no job. The government of the day has failed you in that regard. You would always find an alternative. Now you have a phone that is connected to Wi-Fi. You come to social media. You find out that social media is also paying people based on what? Their views, based on virality, based on their followers, based on influence. And then you study the system and see the content that people are going viral with, the content that is making money. And you are blaming them for creating those kind of content. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They said here, I read it, World Bank as at April 2006. April 2026 was just a couple of months ago. 63% of Nigerians are currently living below poverty line. What do you expect somebody that is living below poverty line to do? I cannot say anything to them because I don't have any alternative to give to them. I can't call them out. I can't insult the content creators. I cannot. They are doing what people are paying them for. It's like somebody that is working in a cigarette company, British and American tobacco, or working in an alcohol company, and I'm saying that they say smokers are liable to unalive at a young age. They said when you drink, you don't drive. How can you be working in an office that produces that? That's the people that are paying him his salary. That's how he gets to feed his family. If I have not found an alternative of a job for him, I can't look at him in the face and say, go and quit that job. It doesn't make sense because the person will draw you back and say, in case I quit the job, ma, what job are you offering me? If I don't have, you keep quiet. So I don't have anything to say to Bella and his group of people that are creating that. But I have something to say to you that is consuming it. You are not making any money, at least they are making money from creating it. Are you making money from consuming trash? No. You are not making money from consuming trash. That is the part that I will hold responsible. You are the ones I will hold responsible. You are the reason these people are getting paid like this. You are the reason people are thinking that is the only way around making money. You are the ones that is flooding their comment section, giving them visibility. You are the one that is flooding their views. So if you really think it is a problem, the change of that problem starts with every one of us. A lot of you, especially those of us that are parents, we forget the fact that our children are coming to view this same social media. I cannot give my children phone. I cannot. I don't know at what point I'll be able to say, go ahead to social media. I don't know. Maybe when they become adults of their own, they can decide. Right now, I don't know what I'm going to tell myself that is going to justify it. Because I am scared of the first thing they are going to see. I'm scared that the training I'm putting into them, will my voice be louder than the voice of social media? I'm scared. It's the reality of life. But you and I can change that. Start by making sure that the content you are consuming makes sense. Do it for yourself. And if there's something inside you that makes you feel comfortable around content like this, you also have a problem that you need to deal with. There is some childhood trauma that needs to be fixed. If as an adult, because I read comment section, people were saying, leave them alone, let them do, the country is hard, these are the content that makes us feel relaxed. When they come back from a hard day's work and they go to Bella's page, they smile, it reminds them of childhood. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Go and heal that thing that is wrong with you. there's something absolutely wrong. If those are the kind of content that you find appealing, you are part of the problem, and the change depends on you. When people complain about sex workers, prostitutes, women are not supposed to be, I said, go to the men that are patronizing them. The day the men stops paying people they stop paying those sex workers. If they go out today and nobody calls them, they go out tomorrow, nobody calls them, they go out after 1 week, nobody calls them, 1 month, nobody calls them, they will find something else to do. You don't understand. It's like an engineer of BlackBerry phone, somebody that learned how to repair BlackBerry phone about 20, 17, 16 years ago. You think the person wouldn't have found another job today? He would have found another job, because nobody has a BlackBerry anymore. Nobody is fixing BlackBerries anymore. The moment he opens his shop for 1 month and there's no customer, he will ask, what are people doing to make money now in phone engineering? Is iPhone and Android. He will learn iPhone engineering, learn Android engineering, and start a new business. That's the way it is. You want prostitutes to leave the street? Ask the men to stop patronizing them. The person that is bringing the money is the one that is fueling the system. You are the one giving them views that they are converting into money. Those that are paying them based on views and engagement and gifts that you are giving. You want it to stop? Don't give them your views. Don't give them your engagement. Don't give them your gift. The algorithm has nothing to pay them for. So they are not the problem. The algorithm has its own part, but the person that is going to change it is the algorithm is not about to change. It is designed to keep black people in mediocrity, to keep them in mind chains, to keep them changed by ignorance and uneducation. That's what the algorithm is there to do. So the algorithm will always do what the algorithm will do. No matter how much complaint we give, the algorithm is not about to change. It's not as if the algorithm is going to discover, this thing we are doing is a lie. No, the algorithm knows what the heck he's doing, and is doing what is there to do. The content creators know what they are doing. They are after the money. They are creating what they know you will consume and follow and view and gift. So the power lies with every one of us. Have you seen it? You are the one that is baking this cake. The ingredients is with you. The flour, the baking powder, the egg, the milk. Everything is with us. You and I. We are the one that will decide if we want to bake vanilla cake or square cake or pancake or chocolate cake or puff puff with our flour. We are the ones that decide what we are going to bake. So if there is still banana bread outside, it's because you and I baked it. If this Olodo uprising continues to thrive and trend, it's because you and I are supporting it. I'm not going to say you and I, because on this matter, ask the people that know me. On this matter, code. If I show you my block list, people block people because they dropped a comment that you don't like, they are rude and disrespectful in your page. I block people because they are creating content I don't like, or they liked 3, 4, 5 content of the kind of content I don't like. That's my own reason. That's my own reason of blocking people. The moment I see that, wait, hold on. Let him do it. The moment I see that you are creating something that I'm not going to consume now or in the future, I block you. You have not interacted with me, I block you. I'm telling the algorithm that whatever it is that is on that page, I don't want it from this person or any other person that is similar. You are, aside from this whole Olodo uprising thing, do you know what else you are doing? Content that you consume is building you as a person. That is feeding into your subconscious. Your subconscious is taking it out of there. Somebody say, how do we block? How do you block on TikTok? Top right button. There are some buttons on the top right corner. When you click on it, you see block, part of it there. It will always be there, you find it. Blogs. Every Nigerian blogger that comes around across my page, I block them. I don't care what you are blogging, I will block you because I already know Egbesipada. Stand there. No, stand there, Sarah. Can you just put it and use something? Yeah. I already know how Nigerian blogging works. Blogging among black people, I already know how it works. Tabloids, you already know how it works. They are there to sell a narrative. They are there to rage bait you. They are there to create controversies. A little bit of lie just to get engagement. Blogging is not news. If you want to know what's going on in the society, listen to news. I'm not a fan of news either, but listen to news. Blogging is not news. You and I both know it's gossip. And the gossip is created in such a way that everybody is not. What did they say? Saidi, Kinikan, Moshudi, Kinikan, see the dress she wore to the party. At this your old age. At this your old age. You are coming to say, what dress did she wear to the AMVC? She borrowed somebody's dress. He's the father of the child, though. That one is the mother of the child. It's a lie. He's sleeping with some. Are you okay? Are you okay? You don't have work. You don't have anything to do. Go and sleep now. Is data that cheap in your country? And you don't know that these people are putting this thing to make money off you. That should already make you feel a certain kind of way. It's like a business person that somebody is marketing and selling to. The first thing I see is that, hey, you are marketing. That's the first thing I see. That, oh, you are marketing. That's the first thing that I see. Sorry, I'm trying to get... Hold on, please. Sorry, the person I sent that invite to, please ignore it. It was a mistake. It's an error. It's an error, please. Cancel it. Thank you. You should understand how these things work. Somebody has dropped a comment. A person said, people mistake blogging for news and truth. Pseudo gossip, the red tab prime people type of news. Exactly. You are too intelligent for that. You are supposed to be too busy for that. The government did not provide job, yes. You have a brand you are building. You either have a job or a brand, or you are trying to start one. Put your energy into that. That's somebody's business. So that blogger is running a business. So that blogger is hoping to get paid. When you have that in mind, maybe the way you interact on social media and the things you interact with will change. When you know that the first reason that person is there is to trick you and bait you into using you as his own currency, and then you now allow yourself to be used that kind of way. The only people that should be flying around social media and be doing around is people that have made it in life. Iyanifa, you don't understand. Social media is the only one that keeps us relaxed and sane. There's something wrong with you. If this hyper-stimulation that is going on social media is what keeps you calm, happy, and sane, there is something absolutely wrong with you. It's a trauma response. The hyper-stimulation that is going on social media does not keep anybody calm. It's a dopamine rush. If you understand what is going on, see a therapist and understand what social media scrolling endlessly is doing to you. I just want to relax and laugh. See, ask yourself, before social media came, if I existed in this life, what will I use to relax and laugh? Go and do that. Start by doing that. Do that. That is more likely to give you that relaxation and joy to make you laugh than social media. Until you are forced to drop your phone before you realize how hyper addictive you are to that phone. Before you realize how hyper addictive you are to that phone, before you realize the damage you are doing to your brain cells, you are paying ChatGPT Pro. Instead of you to sit down and say, ChatGPT, today I want to learn about Africa. Let me learn about the different countries in Africa. In between, another major form of education is traveling. But do you know what social media has done to you and I? A lot of people are traveling for fun. As a Nigerian passport holder, here are 7 countries you can travel to without a visa. Togo, Lome, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, Rwanda, Burkina Faso, Senegal. Join us in the comment section and comment travel, and I shall send you the itinerary to go. $1,500 for sharing, $2,500 for single. You people will send that money. You will join that group and go on that trip. The only thing you are going to do is record content. Every day of your 7-day trip, you are just doing like this. You are recording content. There's nothing wrong in keeping memories and recording memories. Education, relaxation, those are the 2 priorities of traveling. You have gone to a different country. You have gone to a different country. You have gone to see a different set of people, a different language, different food, different culture. You are supposed to learn, be educated. So the next time they talk about Kenya and Burkina Faso and Senegal and Dubai and what's this next place that everybody is going now? What's that next country that everybody is going now? On the island. Where is the rest of the people in this house? Where is Uncle Joseph? What's the name of that country? There's one country that I also want to visit that everybody seems to be going now. They have Airpeace is one that is flying directly to that country. Please, if you know the name of the country, drop it in the comment section. When you go there, your first, no, not Seychelles. Country Barbados is Barbados. Nigeria just got direct flight from Nigeria to Barbados now. So that's where everybody is going to now. I want to go to Barbados, You get there. The first thing you should do, 2 things, relaxation and education. Educate yourself. Everything is for the gram. Is this social media? Everything you are going to do on that vacation, you have carried 20 bags to be able to change clothes and create content You are not a content creator that they are paying. You just want to, you want to take 1,000 pictures and save 1,000 videos because you want to show off. You have gone to that country. You have not learned anything there, 0 education, you have not relaxed, you have not released stress, you have not connected with the universe, you have not done anything like that. You are on your phone the whole time. You have lost the value of education in traveling. Relax. Relax. No networking. Thank you very much. Relax. Life is not like that. Life is not like that. I was in China. My tour guide, my translator, ended up being my first staff that I employed in China. So when I opened my company, I was required to employ somebody, and that lady became, every day we go out, after I've done everything for the day, she will take me to local places. I wanted to see China from the view of a local person, teach me the language, tell me this, tell me that, all of these things. I got to know her as a person, and she said something. She said, you are the first foreigner that I'm working with that is communicating with me as a person. Everybody just come here. You are doing a good job. You are doing a job. You are doing. I said, because I have come to China to build relationships. And the girl, she literally fell in love with me. Like, we fell in love with each other. Like, I've come to love Z so much, like she's like a sister, like a long lost friend. And after about 1 week, she stopped charging me for translation. She charges me per day. That's the standard. She stopped charging. We were just having fun together. And at the end of my trip, I paid her some money. I just sent it to her. This is me, from a friend to another friend. And we have since then planned a vacation together. Before the end of the year, we are going on a trip together. I'm taking her to see Africa. I met her as a tour guide in a foreign country. And I spent time. I went to her house. I met her people. We ate together. I have connected with another family outside of here. She has met other Nigerians and she's like, oh, I met some of these other Nigerians. They're so loud. They were just shouting at me and yelling at me. I said, I'm sorry. Some of my people can be like that. When in Nigeria is yelling, they are not angry with you. It's just their voice that is loud. She was like, but you're so calm. You are so Me, I've had the opportunity to educate myself in different countries of the world. Now, emphasis on I prefer to say it as I've had the opportunity to educate myself in different countries, as against, oh, I've traveled to different countries in a classist way. It's an opportunity to educate yourself in other countries. I have seen myself in Benin Republic, in Togo, in Ghana, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Qatar, in Dubai, in the United States, in China, and counting. I have seen life through the lens of those people. I recently went to Rwanda with a friend of mine. And the guy is like, why are all these people slow like this, Seth? Why are these people slow like this? They are not. I said, welcome to the rest of Africa outside of Nigeria. I have interacted with other African countries. They are not in a hurry like us, so they are calm. They do their things one by one, step by step. Something happened when I went from Rwanda to Uganda. When I go to Uganda, the environment was different. Starting from their airport, Entebbe Airport is an airport I never want to go through, not as a transit traveler. Never. I don't even want to know the magic they do in that place. I didn't have a good experience in Entebbe Airport. I will not go back there again. For those of you that have passed through that airport, you know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Thank you very much. Otumba Obatala is terrible. The building itself is looking like something that is going to fall tomorrow. The people are hostile. They are just jati. That's the word. Now, while we were there, when they eventually attended to us, very terrible experience. I sat down, I was eating. I was asking myself, I was like, Kenya and Rwanda that I'm coming from, they are very nice people. You know, they are really very nice people in those other countries. Why is Uganda like this? And traveling from Uganda to someone said it's like a park in Ibadan. Traveling from Rwanda to Uganda is just a 1 hour flight. So it's like going from Lagos to Abuja. It's like going from Lagos to Accra. So they are very close. You know, why are they this different? Then I decided to look up the story of Uganda, and then I found out that the president of Uganda has served 40-something years, and that was his 17th term. I was like, no wonder. You cannot have this type of rulership and the people will not be naturally just angry and everything will not be naturally faulty. It explained why they were like that. I learned something new. Even at their airport, at the food section of the airport, the way they were like, please, can I have a cup of coffee? The way they were sounding, I was like, people in Uganda were so nice and so friendly. Kenyans were so nice and so friendly. And this one was just, I'm not surprised. Because if a democratic government says that they elected him 17 times and he has been president for 40 something years and his son is about to be the next president, how do you think the people will be behaving? People are not happy now. They are not. What do you expect? That's education. I said that to say that is education. So the next time you are making a trip, tell yourself you are going to school to get educated in another environment. See their food. Look at their environment. Find out why this is this, why that is that. Ask them questions about their community. I asked questions about Rwanda to the point where I found out that Rwanda works on a community base. Keep Rwanda clean and green is an intentional thing. It works on a community base. One plot of land, one plot is counted as one plot. When you count 50 plots, that's a community. The community has a head, financial secretary, this one, that one, in that community. If you rent an apartment in that community, at their next meeting, they introduce you to the rest of the community. As part of the community, everybody knows each other. You have to keep the community clean and green on a personal level. It's not federal government that is watching you. They up to community level. They've rebuilt that country like a family. You know what happened there about 40 something years ago? The mass unaliving of people. They are rebuilding it. You will ask stories, ask for, find out, education. Traveling is not just about, oh, selfie for the camera. Oh, you are visiting a place for 3 days. You will wake up at 5 a.m. and sleep at 12 midnight because you want to visit everywhere. Not for you to experience it, just to be able to record and come and post on social media. We have lost the value of education. And people have become olodo in every form that it comes, every ramification of it. Can I have my bottle? No, they take me and directly láti inú freezer for me. It's frozen. Oh, let's say everything then but don't frozen by. Sorry about that. Education should be your priority. Every form of education you can get. God forbid that you should be included in this Olodo uprising. God forbid that that is what your children are going to experience. The unspoken trauma of social media. God forbid that that is what our children are going to experience. Western education has failed you. It's okay. There are other forms of education, which is what our ancestors thrived in, which is what built Africa. That's what built Africa. And if we are going to rebuild Africa and rebuild our race, we are going to go back to the educational system that our forefathers practiced. Educate yourself round, holistic form of education, all-round education, holistic form of education, educating yourself all round, not limiting it to just book. Oh, it's people that have money that can travel. Iyanifa, stop talking about traveling. Some of us don't have money to travel. It's okay. It's actually true. I'm not asking you to get on a flight and go. I'm asking you to visit the next community and learn. Learn. Emphasis on learn. Learn, unlearn, relearn, continue to learn. ChatGPT is not a therapist. Stop pouring your life story into ChatGPT. ChatGPT is there, it's supposed to give you information. Get information out of it and learn. Not, I've come back to tell you what happened. ChatGPT knows that you and your boyfriend were fighting. I did exactly what you asked me to do, and here is what he did. He stood me up and he called another girl. Then ChatGPT would reply. Men that do like that are you okay? You are paying for premium ChatGPT, and that's what you are talking about. pick a topic and learn. Learn. The number of hours you spend consuming all these Oludo people's content and helping them to get paid, if you put it into what actually pays you or growing something that actually pays you, you will learn. Somebody was in the comment section now asking me something about China. I didn't ignore your message. I'm just, let me scroll back. The person said, please, ma, how can I travel to China? I want to learn a lot and be educated there. Okay. I will respond to your comments, to your question. But I will start by saying, you see that TikTok that you have, you see that social media that you have, that's where I learned about China. For a whole 2 months, 60 days straight, all I was searching for on social media, particularly on TikTok and Instagram, was content about China. That's where you hear people's real life experience. People will tell you, before you go to China, don't make this mistake that I made, or don't do this or don't do that. It depends on what you are looking for. No, if I give you information about China now, I'm giving you information based on my perspective, based on my level of finances, based on my income and tax brackets. Somebody else that is going to China as a hustler, that is going to look for life, is not going to, I cannot give you the information on that level. I will give you information on somebody that took her money out of excess and went to China and went to look for certain things out of, not that way. There are so many people visiting China for different reasons. China is a big and beautiful place. China is a land, China is what you should call land of opportunity. Sumaya, you just joined us right now. I've insulted your country. Uganda. See, when I landed Uganda last week, was it last week? Last week. Immediately we landed Rwanda Air. I took a video at the airport before we entered into the airport. Outside, you see the outside part. I was recording video that I will send it to Sumaya and say, hey, I'm in your country. When I entered, I could not send you the video. I was angry till I left. I could not even send you the video. I could not even say anything to you. I'm like, what was going on here? May it not be in the record I passed through this country. May it not be in the record I passed through this airport. You're asking me what happened. It's your airport that happened. It's you people's airport. Otumba Obatala too has been seconding my motion in the comment section. He too was there in 2023. Me, I was there 2 weeks ago. Then you people do not tell me that his daddy that is ruling your country. I did not know that the president is a daddy of 43 years in rulership. What did they do? First of all, when I entered, I'm like, okay, where are the people that are on transfer? Where are the people that are, somebody says, sit down there. And I sat down there. Sit down there 40 minutes. People were just passing. Nobody was attending. There's supposed to be a stand now where I will see my other flight to this one, that one. And then I went outside to talk to security. Excuse me, they told us to sit down here. What's going on? Do I look like I'm the one that's supposed to attend to you? Am I the one that is supposed to stand up for me and talk to you? I say, don't be angry, sir. We're not fighting. I'm just asking you a question. Where do we go? They've kept us standing for 40 minutes. And the guy is like, I'm not the one. What flight are you going on? I said, Qatar Airways. Then you wait for the people from Qatar Airways to come. Can somebody call them? I'll be here from... There's nothing I can do. Go back there. They said I spoke to Rwanda. I don't know. I just spoke to somebody in the airport. Yeah, which one do I know? I didn't catch his name. I did not. I was so angry. We sat down there for another 10 minutes and somebody came. Please, can I have your passport? Then the person went with my passport. I'm very skeptical of giving people my passports. That's the only identity that I have in a foreign country. But she were in the airport. So I gave her the passport. She went, she came back. How many are you? I said so. Okay, you people should come here. Then she now took us to the lounge. We sat down there. Then she went again to bring boarding pass. I'm like, you people don't check? You work with airport people. You people don't check. You people don't. Then the airport was smelly. The lounge was smelly. The airport lounge was smelly. I'm like, see me, Muitala Mohammed will be saying, Nigeria is not doing anything. When I came back and I heard somebody say, Nigeria is not doing anything, I told the person, I said, don't say that. There is airport in Nigerian, there is AC in Nigerian airports now. There is Wi-Fi at Muitala Mohammed International Wing. We can actually scan our passports inside now. Like you actually scan your passports and then stand and then it will take your picture right now without anybody coming to attend to you. The custom officers are putting on uniform. They have camera on themselves. Everything they say and they do is being recorded. What are you talking about? You will not appreciate your country until you go somewhere else. I beg you, go to Entebbe Airport and come back and tell me that later on the airport is not. I'm not saying we should compare Nigeria with Entebbe. No, I'm not saying that. Entebbe has no Wi-Fi, exactly. I almost missed my flight. Thank you. Because I had about 50 minutes layover. And for 40 minutes, you kept me standing. Nobody was even talking to me. And you speak to people, they'll just say, The way they just do it, I was like, these people are angry. Like, for East Africa, these people are relatively angry. When I now found out that it's a grandpa that has been ruling them for 49 years. 49. 17 elections. I knew that's where the trauma is coming from. People will be angry. Now, if it's you, won't you be angry? You'll be angry, it's okay. So that's what I said behind you. I was almost going to like surprise you to say, oh, Susan, I'm in your country, but I left there angry. But yeah, and I'm not going to come back. I'm not going to come back. No, I'm not going to come back. If we are going to meet, but we meet in another country. Maybe the next time I go to Rwanda, I'll tell you to come and meet me. That's what I wanted, for real. I thought I could call you to come there. I'm not going back there. Maybe after that daddy has gone. Maybe when that daddy leaves and they reconstruct everywhere, but okay, we can meet there. We can meet in that Tanzania. So I said all of that while I was talking about education. Travel and be educated. Me, I've traveled now and I've seen that Muritala Mohammed Airport is good. We have improved, we have changed. When we came to the airport, when I came back, they asked us to fill health report, based on where you're coming from, what you have experienced, all of those things. And there was Wi-Fi to connect and fill the form. Until you fill the form, they send you a mail and they say, yes, you have done it. And you show it to the health workers before they allow it. It was so smooth. It was so smooth. Like you're moving through Muritala Mohammed Airport and it isn't so smooth. Nobody is harassing you for money. Aside from those people that will now be by the other door, say, what did you bring for us? But all those things that you used to see before, now, Daddy Sheyi is trying in that regards. Apart from the fact that Daddy Sheyi says you should go and be saying, no, it's Mommy Sheyi. Say, Mommy, hello, be Sheyi. Mommy, Yemi. God. Mommy Sheyi says you should go and be saying, apart from that, I say they have tried for the airports. Apart from that, they have tried. Now, it's easy to follow up. I know that. You see, I said all of that to say that the educational system they sold to us has failed, and that is what has given rise to. They say she's not Mommy Sheyi. Stepmother Sheyi. Stepmommy. In Yoruba, there's no stepmommy. Mommy no ni. She's stepmommy. Why no Yoruba? Chinese step mom ṣó ní nǹkan tó wá ń pe step mom ìyàwó bàbá mi ló wá ń pe step mother àbí ìyàwó dádì ṣe ìyàwó dá orogún ìyá ṣe orogún mọ́mì ṣe ní ká ló máa ta àkàrà àti náà ń dé kò ń ṣe yìí tí yín orogún mọ́mì ṣe ní ká ló máa ta àkàrà àti kúlíkúlí ṣe tí mọ́mì yẹn bá wá tàkàrà gbẹ̀yìn ayé wọn sìn wọ́n á lẹ́nìkan ló ń ṣe wọn mọ́mì kékeré yẹn tó bá sọ pé tí mọ́mì kékeré yẹn bá wá tàkàrà gbẹ̀yìn ayé wọn sìn wọ́n á ní nǹkan kan ló ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n á láyé ló ṣe wọ́n torí wọ́n wò wá sùnsùn bá a ṣe ń tiraka tá à ń gbìyànjú tó yẹ jẹ́ sọ́n Yorùbá wọ́n wá wò wá sùnsùn wọ́n fi àkàrà àti kúlíkúlí lọ̀ wá àwọn mọ́mì tó dẹ̀ ń ta àkàrà jẹ nílé níta wọ́n gbàdúrà pé káwọn ọmọ wọn má ṣe rẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wọn débi gíga àwọn wá ń fi ìpadà sẹ́yìn wọ́n fi ń lọ ara wọn láì ṣe àwa tó rárá wọn lọ́ fi ń lọ kò ń ṣàwa wọ́n dẹ̀ wá ń sọ àtẹ̀pà wọn ló tún fẹ́ pà náà kún pẹ̀lú bá a ṣe kàwé tó yìí kò sí wàhálà orí wa máa da fún wọn ẹlẹ́dàá máa da àwọn tó láyé máa da àwọn tó nílẹ̀ máa da fún wọn àwọn tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ yẹn tó sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó máa da fún wọn ṣe let's conclude like this ó kù sáwà náà lọ́wọ́ tá a bá ń kí àwọn ọmọ ògbóni a máa ní ọmọ ṣíṣe ń rojú ẹ jẹ́ ká fìyẹn lẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọlé Ajíbọ́lá it's left to us now ó kù sí wa lọ́wọ́ báyìí they have played us in our face algorithm has favoured nonsense emptiness right in front of us those of us that are putting out educative content we are struggling to get visibility that's the reality it's not because Pella is doing better than you and that doesn't mean all of us will become olodos and be putting out olodo content. No, we will not do that. It has now become us. We are the ones that is going to rewrite this. We are the ones that is going to change the narrative. It starts with you. It starts with me. When I created the Ifa Business School, these are the things I talked about. The reason why Western education and MBAs has failed a lot of people. The people that are ruling the world economy, they don't have MBAs, but they employ people with MBA. That says a lot. That says a lot. The educational system that raised Baba Obafemi Awolowo, that built the first TV station, Western TV network, or what was it called? As a Nigerian, as a Yoruba man, he built and he launched the first TV station, WNTV, Eshegonisa, Western Network TV. The education that raised him, that raised the people that raised him, that's the education we are talking about though. The education that raised Odua, what we have today as Odua investments, that's the education we are talking about too. The education that is legacy focused, that is not just about money that you are getting today, that is legacy focused, that trains us and teaches us holistically, not just about making money, but holistically. The form of education that puts community into focus, that puts your ori into focus, not something that was written in jam form that you have to pick. The form of education that has the society in view, that has ajoshepo, collectiveness as its core value. The education that has integrity as its core value. Go back and see what Yoruba education is. Integrity and dignity. This whole Olodo uprising thing, I saw a picture side by side. They placed YC side by side with Pella. and they put YC's net worth and Pella's net worth. And they said, would you rather be called educated and intelligent with this net worth or Olodo with this net worth? Comment section says they will rather choose to be called Olodo with Pella's net worth. As though the way Pella made his money and the content that Pella is creating is the only way now that people get to make money. That broke my heart. Where is the Yoruba in us? Where is the Africa in us? That a good name is more valuable than money. Now, excuse me, listen here. They did not put Pella side by side with somebody that is in debt, somebody that is in penury, somebody that is poor, that is suffering, that is hungry. And they say, would you rather be on zero, hungry, homeless, no money, and be called educated and intelligent, or have this money? They put somebody that his net worth is still in thousands of dollars. Kini network tí wọ́n kọ fún YC, show, can you pull it up? I've forgotten the figures. Pella's one was in millions. 1 point something million. This one was in thousands. They are not comparing him with someone that is broke. Oh. You cannot look at YC and say, God forbid that I will have this type of money. No. People that are in the comment section has not even made YC's kind of money. They are aiming to make Pella's kind of money under the same condition that Pella is. That's the society that we have. People cannot choose to say, I will be worth thousands of dollars. 500,000. Loko Funtani. 500,000. $300,000 to 500,000. $300,000 is about what? Is about $500 million in naira. So an average person in Nigeria right now cannot say, I want to have $500 million naira with a certain level of intelligence and integrity and dignity, and I will not be associated with this emptiness and rubbish. If they give you that 500 million in naira, do you know what you can do with it if you are intelligent? Do you know what you can do with it if you are intelligent? But you would rather be empty, olodo, and see, until you make money, Pella is a small boy. Pella has not seen life. His money will carry him to places, will give him opportunity to get to places where he will not be able to open the door and enter because of his level of education and intelligence. I'm not saying he's a dullard, no, but I'm saying what Olodo Uprising represents in this case. I don't know Pella as a person. I'm using both of them based on that picture and what they represent in the context of this conversation. Another, what's his name, content creator that we have, comedian and content creator that we have is lawyer Lai. Is that what they call him? Lai Sabi, tall slim. What is his stage name? Lai Wasabi. Okay, his name is Lai. He's a lawyer. That's the only content creator as at today that I can listen to and not feel cringe. That guy makes intelligent comedy. Intelligent content creator. You see somebody that went to school and actually studied law, not auntie that has BSc in law. Auntie Lande, Ketode, Ati Soro, auntie Konto Sopa wọ́n BSc in law. BSc in law. Lai does not have BSc in law. Lai is the opposite of Pella in this situation. They are both content creators. They are both gone viral. But you listen to content and you'll be happy. The school fees that your daddy spent will be making you happy. Your certificate will be dancing inside your box when you listen to Lai speak. Lai went to Kilo One Bikini and read Kini Kon. Kilo One Bikini talk show come by. TEDx. Is that what it's called? TEDx, yeah. She went to give TED talk. It's called TED talk. TEDx, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. Lai went there, and the guy made 15 minutes or 10 minutes, or I don't know how many minutes of the conversation made me proud as a Nigerian. Can you give the Olodo uprising people, can you give them that platform to talk? Can United Nations invite them to speak on behalf of the youth of Nigeria? They don't know that there are places and things where that money will not take them to. They don't understand, and they don't know that some of us, life is not just about money. Education as a black person is not just about money. If you haven't registered for the Ifa business school, whether you have a business or not, these 16 principles that I pulled out of the old Ifa to create that 16 module course, you need to go into it. You need to understand it and learn it and find out how our people educated themselves. Why, as Yoruba people, integrity, good name went hand in hand with getting money and creating legacy. A kind of people that will not celebrate you in moral decadence. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Back in the day, parents would not even allow their children to be associated with you, despite the fact that you as a child, you are richer than their parents. That is the education that we had in Africa. That's the education we had as Yoruba people. That is the education that we need to go back to. That is the education that will remove these shackles that they've placed around us away. That's the education that will keep us out of that slavery. And nobody is setting up that kind of education in the real sense of it anymore. So you and I have to go and get that education for ourselves and give that education to our children. As your child is getting formal education, look for the skills that they have that they were born with, and let them get trained in the African way of growing skills so that they can benefit from other things aside from learning the skills. Yoruba educational system does not just teach a carpenter how to nail wood and put a nail on wood and nail it together. That's not the only thing that Yoruba education system teaches. It teaches that boy family values. It teaches him community. It teaches him integrity. It teaches him cleanliness. Teaches him how to balance everything together. How many of you got BSc and they told you that when you get a job, this is how to balance your home and work? In case you look for a job and you don't get it, this is what you are supposed to do in the meantime. This is how you work together with other graduates that are finishing from this school so that you guys can build and lift each other up. They taught you competition. They taught you a central grading system. That's one thing I will never be able to wrap my head around. A grading system for everybody in a world that has neurodivergent and neurotypical people. In a world where everybody has different capacities of learning. There is just one exam that determines whether you passed or you failed. That's all. That is already a failure. That's already a failure. That's already a failed system. Must you get it? Yeah, you should. Because the society we live in requires it at one point or the other. But aside from it, get the proper form of education on every level and layer that it presents itself. Auntie Lande, thank you so much. Build your timeline, your FYP, your what else is it called? Kilomangpe timeline. What other name do they call timeline? They call it FYP, they call it your feed. Grow your feed brick by brick Control the kind of content you consume. The society is not going to help you do that. The society is putting chains on people through their content. The society is applauding trash content so that your mind can be captured into trash. They are throwing chains like this. The moment you open it and you start consuming, whoop, the chain is on you. And they are dragging you. They continue to drag you. One content after the other. One content after the other. The first one is just funny. The second one, we are just laughing. The third one, let's support our people. Until that becomes your reality. A friend of mine and I were speaking a couple of days ago. She had watched a movie. And in that movie, there was a European man married to his European wife, and the man had a secretary that was black, African American, and the man was cheating on his European wife with the African American lady. And she told me, she said, Ewa, it's disturbing that when I was watching that movie, I was low-key rooting for the black girl, despite the fact that she was cheating and breaking somebody's home. The movie did not give us a narration that the European woman did something wrong. But low-key, she said she had to catch herself that, why am I happy and supporting the fact that somebody else is cheating? He said, is it because it's a black woman that is being favored? I said, no. I said, because you have consumed a lot of Tyler Perry's movies. A lot of Tyler Perry's movies that you have consumed that has put the average black woman in this bad shape. So the moment your mind sees that there is a narrative that is supporting the black woman, low-key you are happy that, at least she's going to marry this white man. The man is spoiling her. The man is taking care of her. You already think she's a victim that needs to be saved. Low-key, your subconscious already looks at her that way. But the moment you catch yourself, you're like, whether European or African, no matter the color, nobody should be doing this. This shouldn't be right. Do you know how many of us rooted for Olivia Pope in Scandals? Look at me, I'm talking to you. How many of you has watched Scandal? Let's start from there. I need comments. Let me tell you what content is doing to you. If you have seen Scandals, Olivia Pope, what's her name? Kerry Washington is her name, right? Kerry Washington played the role of Olivia Pope in Scandals. How many of you have seen it? You are not commenting on comment section. I want to see all of you that have seen Scandal. Olivia Pope. Scandal. Olivia Pope and the president. What's the name of the president? Yes. How many of you are rooting for Olivia Pope? How many of you are rooting for Olivia Pope? Fitzgerald. How many of you are rooting for Olivia Pope? Meanwhile, Melly, that's Fitz's wife, right? Melly didn't do anything wrong. Melly didn't do anything wrong. If anything, Melly gave up on her law career to push that man to where he was. But low-key, I was in the US at the time he was casting on ABC while he was still showing as a series on ABC. I was living in the US at the time. A lot of us black women were rooting for Olivia Pope. First of all, my friend that said that she watched it, she said, let me go and see that movie, Olivia Pope. The person reminded me, there's somebody in that movie that reminds me of you. When you watch it, you will see. The first episode I watched, I saw Olivia Pope. I knew she was referring to Olivia Pope as reminding her of me. Now, we supported Olivia Pope. But what she did was wrong. It was absolutely wrong. What she did was absolutely wrong. But low-key, we supported her. My best friend who was married was rooting for Olivia Pope. Yes. She was not rooting for... Let me explain it to you. Your best friend was not rooting for adultery. Your best friend was rooting for a black woman who had an opportunity to rule the White House with her woman power. She was literally rooting, she was literally ruling the White House. That was what your friend was rooting for. But we totally forgot that that was adultery. You see what I'm saying? That came from other content we had consumed. Other content we were consuming. She was looking for adultery. She thought it was romantic, but she was a married woman. No. Do you know why I said she wasn't rooting for adultery? Because if it happens to her, she will not root for it. She will not say, go ahead and cheat on my husband now. They said now she's divorced. That says a lot. It comes from a lot of content that all of us. Exactly. Now, question is, why are black women cast in those roles? That's the point. Because they know that subconsciously, the person that is selling that role knows that black people. Now, that movie was, quote and unquote, it was an almost all-white movie, right? I can count the number of people of color in that movie, apart from Olivia, that other guy that works with her. I can count the number of consistent characters that were people of color. They will sell that narrative because they know that this is all white. Let's make these people of color feel like, she's smart, she's intelligent, she was ruling the place, and then she found her way into the White House through adultery, and there was nothing the president was going to do that was outside of her. It would make us feel good with ourselves. And it did make a lot of black women feel good. A lot of black people feel good. Low key. And these are not people that will come outside and wholeheartedly support adultery. They are not people that will come outside and say, go and commit adultery if you want to know. But low key, we supported it. Low key, we supported it. The producer and the writer is black. Okay. Low key, we supported it. That's the same thing that Tyler Perry is doing. Now, I respect Tyler Perry as a person of art. I respect his art. Yes, thank you, Shonda. I respect his art a lot. I love how Tyler Perry puts his stamp on everything that he does. I love how, Tyler Perry's My Dear's Homecoming, Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black, Tyler Perry's this, Tyler Perry's that. The way he puts his stamp on everything that he does, I love it. I love what he's building. But you see, that narrative has to just, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. His script is just okay. It's not. Stop. If you enjoy Tyler Perry's movies and the narrative in those series and movies, there's something wrong with you. If you have not come to a point where you feel like, no, this is okay. The first one is okay. You are trying to put something out. We hear. The second one, we are looking at it. Okay. By the third one, we are like, what's the problem? What is the problem? Like, what is this the only narrative you can sell? Somebody was saying that Tyler Perry is probably very angry that he's not the one that produced Polygamist. Because that looks like a story. That looks like what he will write and sell. In between, that's the story of an average South African. I was talking to Iyanifa, Jumade. She said she read in the comment section of one page while they were talking about the polygamists that every South African knows at least one Jonas. And she said she was shocked. Oh, I've worked with South Africans a lot. In fact, the story in polygamy sounds a lot like one of my clients. When somebody asked me to see it and I went to see it, the first thing I did was run to my client and say, did you sell your story to somebody? She was like, oh, you've seen the polygamist. I said, yeah, sounds so much like it. There were just a little tweaks and twists here. But that's the story of so many people in South Africa. That's like a culture in South Africa, what you have there. But the problem is when that becomes the constant narrative that you're consuming. It is defining something in your subconscious that you don't know. It is defining something in your subconscious that you don't know. And the day you need to pull something up, you will be pulling up that messed up idea. There are certain movies I will not watch. I said it on my live streaming, on my WhatsApp status, on a voice note. Nigerian community would know this movie by Femi Adebayo, Jelili. I can never. I can't. I just cannot. I cannot. I can't even make the statement. I cannot. You cannot find how. I cannot. It's not gonna happen. By the trailer that I saw, this is not my kind of comedy. This is not comedy to me. This is not the definition of comedy for me. Emphasis on me. Femi Adebayo is a great actor. Does Jelili define who Femi Adebayo is? No, but he put out a story that people will buy. I'm not the kind of person that buys that. I have defined what comedy means. You want to know the kind of series that comes as comedy to me? Ask my family members. Let me call one of my children. Which of you is there? Call your sister. Okay, you come. In all the comedy series that we watch, which one do I always watch? Like you see me watching on my laptop, like it's just always playing, maybe when I want to sleep or something. Which of the comedy? Those comedy series that we watch.
Sheldon or Big Bang Theory.
Please move closer and say it.
Sheldon or Big Bang Theory.
My children know. Those are the kind of, now, if you have watched Big Bang Theory and you've watched young Sheldon, you will know the type of comedy that I like. When I tell you that I watch Lai as the only person, I just called one of my children. There are 5 of them here. I just called one person randomly. They didn't know I was going to give this example, but they already know. Comedy that sounds like Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, comedian that sounds like Lai, those are the only ones that you cannot. Very enlightening. You know, comedy that comes with scenes. You are learning something and you are smiling, not. I was not raised to see Baba Sue as a comedian. With all due respect to his act and his craft, God bless his soul. He has passed, right? God bless his soul. I was not raised to see Baba Sue as a comedian. I was raised to see his art as ew. And that's not being classist. That's just the way I was raised. It's just the way I was raised. And it's the way I continue to raise myself. If I'm not watching Big Bang Theory now, you know, when I was asking, I said comedy that will just continue to play. It just continues. I've seen it from season 1 to season 13. I will continue to watch it repeatedly. I can just play season 4 again today and watch the episode that I've watched before. Every time it feels like it's new, it will be playing there in the background. If I'm not seeing that, I'm seeing one day at a time. That one is Cuban American. I'm seeing Fuller House. Those are the type of comedy that I watch. Don't come and stress my intelligence. Don't come and stress the education. Baba Sue was decadent, anti-black race. Thank you very much. Thank God I'm not the only one. I don't find cross-dressing as comedy. You see all these guys that come to make comedy and they have to wear wig and put on a bra and stuff it in and act like a woman to do comedy. You have lost me from that. What's wrong in you acting like a man? You've lost me from that. I'm not saying you are not intelligent. I'm not saying you don't have message to pass across. But me and people like me, you have lost us from that. I stumbled on one day. The guy wore one wig that is like this. Then he carried a bag. He was just running and running and running. And I was asking somebody that was next to me. I said, "Is this all the comedy is about?" You know the guy. He has one scattered wig. He'll just carry bag and he'll be running as if he's going to run into water, as if he's running on the road. I'm like, I'm trying to understand. I watched one, I watched two. I asked the person beside me, "Is this the only thing this guy does?" He said yes. I said, "God, please." Save my children from social media. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but please. Olodumare, Ori, Egbe, Orishas, I don't know, but please save our children from what social media is giving us heartache. It's giving us a lot of heartache. I wish I can create my own social media. It's giving us a lot of heartache. It just makes, I don't know, it weakens. You know how they will say something is falling your hand? Like, you see such content and you're like, oh my goodness, where do we even start from? Like, where do we start from? Like, if we want to salvage this society, where? That's what you said. Please, comment section, if you can hear me and see me, let me know. I think it froze for a bit. Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly? Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly? Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly? If we are back, let me know. I think it went off for a bit. Can you hear me and see me clearly? I think it went off for a bit. It lagged. Okay, are we back? Can you hear me? Can you check if this is on now? Can you hear me now so that I know? We'll soon round off. I have about 6 minutes. Where are you? Here, on here. You can hear me now. Okay, so we have, no, it was not your signal, it was on this end. Oh, open it up from there. It was from this end. I think we are back now. So the summary of everything we have said today. Everything that is going on right now, beginning from the education, deep, neck deep in loans. It has messed up, it has failed. Now they have given us an alternative to say, hey, if you go to school and you did not get a job, come to social media, create trash content and we'll pay you for it. And where everything is targeted towards something, there's just one aim. That's what I want you to know. There's just one goal, there's just one aim, to continue the slavery and to continue the chains. So the question we're asking today is, you as a viewer, you as a person in the comment section, you as a person that is engaging, as a person that gives gifts on a platform, they need you to be able to fund this movement of change in our mind through content. This Olodo uprising, they need you and I to fuel it. So the moment you tell yourself that that content is okay, you will continue to consume it, you will continue to view and engage and gift and support the creators of those content, it will need to be there. The chain gets on you and they are dragging you deep in. Where's the other one? Bring it is the one I'm using here. They will continue to drag you deep in. So if we want to change the narrative, it starts with us. As you are educating yourself, Western education, which is absolutely amazing. As you are educating yourself in Western education, which is absolutely amazing, are you still seeing it? Can you still see it? As you continue to educate yourself in Western education, make it a point of duty to educate yourself with every other form of education, including traditional African form of education. Look into your society. Go back to your roots and find out what form of education that your ancestors practiced. What is left of it? Find out what skills you were born with. Educate yourself the way they educated themselves, the way your ancestors educated themselves. Educate yourself in that. Your children that you are raising, as much as they are going to school, Western schools, make sure that they have alternative education in skills in the traditional way. When I say the traditional way, if your daughter has a skill of learning how to sew clothes, and you have taken her to fashion school in England, in Europe, in Paris, in all of those places, bring her into a society that values culture, and let her learn that her sewing in that place too. Let her learn among people that are building community, building legacy. Let her learn among people that value family and community as you are building business. You will find in your society, in your environment. If you don't find, reach out to people that have. Let her learn to be part of a society as she's building her fashion brand or whatever brand that she's building. Let her learn the value of integrity and dignity in that business. You see what we have as the business and entrepreneurial world, dog eat dog society. Everybody thinks that success means pulling the next person down. That is the competition that Western education has created in us. That competition culture. Everybody wants to be first. I want to be first in my class. I want to be better than the second person. That competition structure of examining people and grading people, that grading system that Western education brought, is what brought this unhealthy competition that we have in our business world. That is what fueled it. That's not African. African is community and collective based. One of the things I taught at the Ifa Business School, one of the 16 principles of business in that foundation class is Egbe, society. Yoruba traditional business principle, education principle believes in community and society. We rise by lifting others is a Yoruba sense of life. We believe in community. Everything we build, we know that one person cannot build an entire thing. So we work together, we collaborate together. This is the part that I know best. I call the person that knows this part, and together we build something. That togetherness is what your ancestors were raised with. Go and find that form of education and invest yourself into it. When we operate within our true modality, universe value is ensured. Exactly. Universal value is ensured. Find it. There are other forms of education, including traveling. The next time you have a travel opportunity, take it as two things. I'm going there to learn, and I'm going there to relax. Don't let all your travel trips be about recording and creating content just to come and show the world that doesn't care about you. People that didn't put money together to fund your trip, they are your ultimate aim when you're on a vacation. They serve you food. Before you eat, you are creating content around the food. It's just about the content. You cannot eat and enjoy foreign food that you are eating. Ask questions about this food. Enjoy their spices. Enjoy and savor the experience. Savor the experience of being in another environment. Eat and ask them stories around their food. That's how I fell in love with Ethiopia. You see, for those of you that know Ethiopian food, two things would always stand out: Ethiopian coffee and injera. I love how injera is eaten in a family setting. It's a big tray. It looks like a pancake. It's made in form of in the shape of a pancake. It's made from cornmeal. You put it like that on the table. Then you have different soups all around it like this, and we eat it as a collective. I don't like in a tray. I don't like to order injera and eat it alone. No, I want to eat injera with people. I learned the culture of collectiveness, of cooking and eating. Yes, with all sorts of meat and egg and all sorts of vegetables. And then their coffee that is served with popcorn. When I went to Rwanda, I also asked about their coffee. That was when I learned that, the three top coffees in the world is Brazilian coffee, Ethiopian coffee, Rwandan coffee, in no particular order. I tasted it and I knew that, yes, I've tasted different coffee before I said Ethiopian coffee is the best. I lived in the Middle East. for about 3 years at a stretch. And then I go to Rwanda, I tried Rwandan coffee. I was like, okay. Now, if I decide to do business, did you get their pepper? For which country, Ethiopia or Rwanda? If I decide to do business, go into business that have to do with coffee, by experience, I already know where to go to. The Egyptian coffee ceremony, yes, I love it. Rwandan pepper, no. I didn't really have any particular experience with their pepper. Akabunga. What I tried this thing in Kenya. I tried this food. It wasn't without food. Oh. The thing is white, it's made of cornmeal. They put it together and it's like, it is made into a shape that feels like a slice of yam, but it's made of corn. Then you eat it with spinach. The vegetable is not cut like this, like the way we cut our own vegetables to cook. Yes, ogale, yes, that's what it's called. Or is it ogale or ogale, something like that. It's very close to that gale pronunciation. It's very close to that. So it has spinach, ugali. Thank you very much, Sumaya. Ugali. It's called ugali. I tried it. I tried ugali, and they told me the story of ugali, you know, the different things that is there. I tried. Did I love it? No, I didn't love it. I did not love it, but I tried it and it was okay. I couldn't finish it because I didn't particularly enjoy it. So, you know, the person that says let's talk at some point, please, you can send the message through their DM or through the WhatsApp number that is posted on your screen. Educate yourself and learn while you're at it. Oh, it's only people that have money that can travel out. Travel in. It's not only when you travel out that it's called traveling. Travel inside that your country. Travel in that country that you are in. You live in Ibadan, travel to Oyo, go and experience Oyo town. People come to Nigeria to do Ifa and Isheshe. They visit the historic places in Oyo. You have never visited the historic place in Oyo. I enter into some people's towns and the one that will be telling them places in the town that they live. Explore. It is called education. Expand your brain, put your brain to work. Read books that would make your brain active. You already have social media and ChatGPT. That one is already dulling your brain. You can't think about anything. You already have autocorrect. You cannot spell correctly anymore. You will just type any rubbish. You will see options in autocorrect, you pick it. You don't know that we are weakening your brain cells. That's the Olodo uprising they are talking about. Educate yourself. Get education. You owe yourself that before you leave this life. One day is going to matter. You are going to have an opportunity one day, and your level of education and exposure will be put to test. Your level of education and exposure will be put to test. I beg of you. I beg of you. It is very important as Yoruba people, as Africans, as we return to our roots and our culture. These are the things that we are returning to. These are the things that we are returning to. Back to the educational system and the values. The educational system and the values that our people were raised with. Retrain your mind. Right now, I've given my children an option. Once you finish high school at age 15 or 16, it's not compulsory for you to go into university immediately. Don't worry, it's not compulsory. See, this world is not compulsory that you go into university immediately. You are going to get a degree in university, but you don't have to go immediately. Because right now you probably haven't figured out what you want to do, and that's okay. I'm not going to waste my money to send you to school, and now you're saying, oh, I want to study medicine. Then 4 years down the line you say, I discovered I have a talent in music. Then 3 years down the line I think it's law. I'm not going to fund that rubbish. I'm not going to fund it. So listen up here. What we are going to do is this. Ifa will tell us what your skills are, what you have come to this life to do. Then the moment you finish secondary school, we are going to train you hands-on, the Yoruba African way on that skill. In the process of learning that skill and building it up, if you get to the age of 21, 22 and you begin to have sense as an adult and you are looking at life, then you decide, I want to go to school to study this, yes. Because right now, if I had a choice about 10, 12, 15 years ago, I wouldn't study computer science technology that I did. I will be studying business, not in Unilag, not BSc marketing in one Nigerian university where the lecturer that is teaching me has never handled a business in his life. I would have taken money out because I started to grow business before, while I was not even working for anybody. I would have gone to Lagos Business School to learn about business from people that are actively building business. I would have used that money to get myself into some business clubs and business societies. I wouldn't have wasted my father's money to study computer because it's not useful for me. But at the time that I went to school and got a degree, computer was the best course that was worth the amount of money that my father was spending in school. Babcock University didn't have medicine then, they didn't have law then. How many science courses did they have? Computer was the in thing then, and I went to school, I studied it. I did well, I crammed and I reproduced what I crammed, and I finished with a 2-1, and I'm grateful. But did I ever have to tender that BSc? No. The first time I entered into a place and they said, can we see your BSc result as a requirement, was when I went to China to register my company. It is compulsory in China. You have to have a bachelor's, a first degree or equivalent of bachelor's in your country before you can register a company. That's the only time, 26 years after, I would have done another course that is relevant. I would have studied herbalism and traditional medicine. I would have studied international business. I would have studied business strategy. So I've told my children, after you have done high school, it's okay, relax. Let's face the world and know let's see where the world is going. After we see where the world is going, then you can now go to school and say, maybe at the time you are even going to do BSc, you will pay for it yourself because you'll be able to afford it. Does that mean me as a mother, I will not support you? I will support you, but you can flex as a child to say, Mommy, don't worry, I will pay my BSc myself. That's a proud mother moment, though. I beg. Nobody is rushing you to, so relax, don't be scared. Nobody is rushing you to get a BSc. It's not. Let's focus on the other forms of education. And traveling has been one form of education that I have been investing in with my kids. Consuming literal contents, books, is one thing. If you know the way I buy books in boxes, picking and choosing the kind of information that my children is being educated with, that's why I'm homeschooling. The lie of Western education that is sold to us, it has passed. You cannot tell me that lie is a lie. You cannot tell it to me anymore. This time around, I am choosing what my children consume as education. I'm choosing it. We are handpicking it. We are picking it. Handpicking it one by one like this. I have a daughter that's finished high school. She has finished high school. And right now, we are taking gap years. Not gap year, gap years. What her calling is, that thing that she loves to do, that if I says this is what she will do, that's what we are putting it. Can I also save as Dami? Easier to call. Ewa is my name. If you call me Dami now, I might not answer because you're probably the only person who will be calling me Dami. I can't remember the last time I was called Dami. My brain does not respond to Dami as much as it responds to Ewa. So call me Ewa, yes. That's easier to save and pronounce. So we are doing that now intentionally. I'm picking my children's education intentionally. The kind of books they read, the kind of content they consume, the form of education we are focusing on intentionally. You are not going to use my children as garbage units. It's not going to happen. Like it cannot happen. And let every one of us to, as adults, choose the content you consume. If you're on this live streaming and your only goal in life, if I ask you, what's your goal in life? I just want to make money. Until you need therapy. If your only goal in life is I just want to make money, you need therapy. This conversation is not even for you. You need help. I'm serious. I'm not even gaslighting you. You need therapy. You need help. You need to heal from whatever it is that makes you feel like the only thing you are here on this planet to do is to make money. Money is important, very, very important, don't get me wrong. But when money becomes the only goal you have, you will do anything at all to get it. It doesn't matter what is being, you will do anything to get it because that's your goal. You are supposed to do anything to get your goal. But when your goal transcends money, just money, your goal includes a certain quality of life. Your goal includes legacy building, community building. It includes rest, genuine rest, relaxation, exploring, having fun, good health, a good life, good quality life. Meeting people, building relationships. When your goal in life combines all of these things, then you will not tell yourself that you will do anything to make it happen. The moment you can specify your goals and choose, then you will also be able to choose the way that you want that goal to be achieved. You will be able to say no to certain things. You will build choices for yourself. But if the only goal you have in life is to make money, you have left yourself without option. Anything to make money, you will do it. We have come to the end of the teaching for today. I have another meeting that I need to attend to here. I have another meeting. Let's do this. Okay. Continue until we stop. I have another meeting I need to attend to. Eshegoni Adupe Temiyemi Oju Enimala. He said, please, Iyanifa, follow back. You see this page is Ifa College page. It's not my page. This is not Ìyánífá Ẹwà's page. It's Ifa College page. So Ifa College is an institution that chooses to follow who they want to follow. At the moment, I heard Ifa College is just following 3 people at the moment. And those 3 people are part of the community of Ifa College. So if I have my own page, which I don't really do, I don't do social media on a personal level. I don't see any need to be putting to create an entire page for my personal life. I'm not a content creator, so I don't think I've ever had a personal account on social media aside from Facebook back in those days. Everything you see me put online is a brand that I'm representing. Today, I'm the face of Ifa College. Tomorrow, it might be somebody else. Day after tomorrow, it might be somebody else, you understand? So, but thank you so much for following. We have come to the end of this, and I'm thinking, now speaking of content for our children, how many of you were here when we launched bring our book, the children's book? Okay, I think it's here. How many of you were here when we launched our children's book? How many of you are here when we launched our children's book and when we named the book for children? This is our children's book, Ashe for Today for Kids. This is for superstars age 7 to 11. Age 7 to 11. This is Ashe Nation for teenagers. This is a daily devotional. So every day they have something to read, to learn. They learn Yoruba fast. They learn so many things about Yoruba culture, Yoruba tradition, and Africa as a whole. And then we have this other one for the little children. This for the little children, age 3 to 6. So we have this. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we named these 2 characters. So these 2 characters are products of Ifa College. The image, their name, their image, and their identity are trademark products of Ifa College. So we named them. What's her name? And what's his name? Ashe Boy. Okay, his name is Ashe, actually. So this is Ashe and this is Ewa. So the two of them are ready to create content for our children. So you will head over to YouTube, right? You will head over to YouTube. The YouTube channel is, please type it in the comment section. The YouTube channel is Ashe Kids Network. Type it in the comment section as a single word, Ashe Kids Network. So you head over to YouTube. If you are catching a replay, the link is in the description box below. Ashe Kids Network. The first video has been dropped there, Ashe Kids Network, as a word. Ashe is A-S-E. Okay, it's typed there in the comment section. Let me pin it. Ashe Kids Network. Every week we'll be dropping another episode teaching our children about Ifa, about Yoruba culture, about Africa as a whole, about our values, about our culture, about our language, and every other beautiful thing in between. That will be a channel that is safe to say your children can watch it without any monitoring. You are not scared of the kind of content that is being put out there. You are not worried about if they are putting things into your children under the guise of this. You are not worried about overstimulating. There are some cartoon programs that is just too overstimulating for the brain of children. You are not worried about that on the Ashe Kids Network. So we have dropped the first episode yesterday, which was Sunday. So every Sunday there will be another episode drops down there for your children to watch, to enjoy. As parents, you can also watch alongside. If you have ideas of what you want your children to learn and you want us to animate it, maybe there is a value or there is something that you have seen in the society among children that needs to be addressed, just send a mail to us. Go to the Ifa College website, drop a comment, send a mail, drop it in comment section, drop it in the inbox, drop it on WhatsApp, put a call through, whichever way you can get the message across to us. We are building our children, my children included and yours, so we get to control what our children watch and listen to. It's going to be fun, entertaining, educating, rewarding, and it's not going to be addictive. We are trying to not put something that is addictive and hyper stimulating out there for our children. So Ashe Kids Network is the YouTube channel. We'll be expecting you there. So we have come to the end of the live streaming for today. Let's make our Iwure as we round off. If you have any questions, we have the next 5 minutes. No, you have a minute. If you have a question, it's not even 5 minutes. If you have any question, okay. So the main YouTube channel is Ìyánífá Ẹwà TV. Ìyánífá Ẹwà TV is our main YouTube channel where you will catch replays of the previous episodes of our live streamings. Ashe for today is our daily live streaming that streams every morning 6 a.m. Nigerian time. That will be 1 a.m. for those on the EST. Ashe for today is not going to continue tomorrow until next week. We still have a week break until next week. We are still tidying up a lot of things. So next week, not tomorrow. Ashe for today will continue next week. If you are catching a replay, you will check the times in the description box below. Eshe goni adupe. Láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, nǹkan táwa aláṣẹ kù ṣe kò ní bàjẹ́ lórí wa. This Yoruba nation that we are rebuilding, this Africa that we are rebuilding, àwọn tó ṣàwó kù sẹ́yìn fún wa, wọ́n á kún wa lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe láṣepé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀, àwọn tó láyé, àwọn tó nílẹ̀, wọ́n á kún wa lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe láṣepé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àṣèbà akọ́dá o, àṣèbà ṣẹ̀dá, Elédùmarè ọba tẹ́rẹ kárí ayé, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣẹ o. Òràn ọmọ níṣẹ́ fàyàtì, àṣèbà ọba tó lọ kọrin kése, ọba lánàá, ọba lénìí, ọba títí ayérayé, ọba tí ń fọba jẹ, ọba tí ń gbẹ́kún ọmọ ẹ̀ tí ń ta tí rere, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣẹ o. Olódùmarè ọba lánàá, ọba lénìí, ọba títí ayérayé, àṣèbà aníkíbà wa ṣẹ o. Ajagunmalé olúwo òde ọ̀run, àṣèbà olúbíkin ọ̀sán ìbíkin, àṣèbà àwọn tó tẹ̀ka tó tẹ̀ àtìbà àwọn tó dáka tó dá. Mo ṣèbà olúwo mi, mo ṣèbà àwọn ìyá àbíyè mi, mo ṣèbà àwọn Ìyánífá mi, mo ṣèbà olúwo, mo ṣèbà Òjùgbọ̀nà. àní kí bà wá ṣe o. A ṣèbà wọn lọ́balọ́ba níjòyè níjòyè lórígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbálá ayé níbi tí gbogbo yín ti jókòó lórí ìtẹ́ àwọn bàbá yín tẹ̀ ń pàṣẹ. Àníkádé ó pẹ́ lórí yín, àníkírùkẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ́ lọ́wọ́, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, káṣẹ́ pẹ́ lẹ́nu, kí ìlú yìí kó má ti orí yín tú láṣẹ Èdùmàrè, àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Àṣèbà gbogbo babaláwo, gbogbo Ìyánífá, gbogbo bàbá lórìṣà, gbogbo ìyá lórìṣà, gbogbo àwọn àpẹ̀tẹ̀bí, gbogbo àwọn eléwé ọmọ, gbogbo àwọn oníṣègùn, gbogbo àwọn lẹ́kùnlẹ́jà, gbogbo wa tá a jókòó, àwọn bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ìyá ẹgbẹ́ tá a jókòó tá a ṣiṣẹ́ irúnmọlẹ̀, àṣèbà àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ilé Ajíbọ́lá ni mo kí, Ajíbọ́lá mi ògbódò ọ̀rà, mo kí ìyá mi Àbẹ̀ní, mo kí onílé, mo ṣe ogbó atọ́, ogbó ẹdán, ogbó kọrin kése, ogbó alàwòrò lótùfẹ́ fún gbogbo ọmọ ilé Ajíbọ́lá látòrí àwọn olúwo, ẹ̀yin olúwo mi àsápè ọlà, ẹ̀yin alábẹ́nú àsásí, ẹ̀yin ògbé màálù mi tìwotìwo, mo ṣèbà, mo ní kí bà mí ṣe o. Ẹ̀yin ìyá àbíyè lékelèké gbàràdà mọ́dà àbíyè, mo ṣèbà yín, mo ní kí bà mí ṣe o. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin apènà, gbogbo ẹ̀yin lísà, gbogbo ẹ̀yin balógun, gbogbo àwọn ọmọ onílé látòkèdókè láì dápá kan sí ni mo ṣèbà fún, àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Mo ṣèbà yín ìyá mi Ọ̀pàkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi Ọ̀sá méjì, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ ní ọdún yìí tá a wà nínú ẹ̀, ẹ̀yin Ọ̀sá ẹlẹ́yẹ, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi Òṣòro Mọ̀nìgà, mo ṣèbà, mo ní kí bà mí ṣe o. Mo ṣèbà yín olókìkí òru, ẹ̀yin atẹ̀dọ̀jọ̀rọ̀ òró, ẹ̀yin apanimáyọ̀dà, ẹ̀yin ọlọ́mú kan tí ń fún gba ọmọ ọlọ́mú ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ kan tí ń bẹ́lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì ìjà, ẹ̀yin ìyá mẹ́ta, ẹ̀yin ìyá ẹlẹ́yẹ, ẹ̀yin ògbẹ́kún ọmọ ẹ̀ta tí wéré, ẹ̀yin àbíamọ ọlọ́jà gbọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ tí ò jẹ́ kọ́mọ ó jábọ́, àṣèbà àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Àṣèbà àwọn ìyá mẹ́ta, àwọn funfun, àwọn dúdú, àwọn pupa, ẹ̀yin tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè gbélé ayé lé lọ́wọ́, àṣèbà yín àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Ọdún yìí ọdún ẹ̀yin ìyá mi ẹlẹ́yẹ ni àní kẹ́ ẹ yọ́nú sí wa, ẹ̀yọ́nú àwọn àgbà òun la béèrè fún lọ́dún yìí, ká rí bá ti ṣe, ká rọ́nà gbégbà, ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń jí ayé, ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà ráyé ṣe láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Gbogbo àwọn òrìṣà tá à ń ṣọ̀fẹ̀ fún lẹ́yìn la ṣèbà fún, àníkọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà kọ́ má dà sí wa lára o. A ṣe múṣòmúṣò ẹgbẹ́ o, a ṣe àkíkà ẹgbẹ́ ayé ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀run, a ṣe ẹgbẹ́ àkíkà ẹgbẹ́ àṣẹ ẹ̀gẹ́, àní kí bà wá ṣe o. Ifá olókun asọ̀rọ̀ dayọ̀, ifá ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín, ifá torí ẹni tí ò sunwọ̀n ṣe, ifá finimọ̀nà ọmọ aráyé, àṣeyé ìpà ifá o, àṣeyé ìpà ẹkin, àníkọ́lọ́sẹ̀ ó gbà kọ́ má dà sí wa lára, kí bà wá ṣe ọ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àti fi wá kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ifá mi lẹ́nu, ó ti dénú wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlúàbí tá a jẹ́, ó ti dódindi, ó ti múre ajé wá, ire ọlá wá fún gbogbo wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ọ̀sẹ̀ tuntun tá a wọ̀ lẹ́ni á sàn wá síre, á sàn wá sówó, á sàn wá sáyọ̀, á sàn wá sí ìlera pípé, ìdùnnú, àṣeyọrí, ìgbéga àti àìkú tí ń ṣe baálé ọ̀rọ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tuntun tá a mú yìí, àní fẹnu kan, àní fẹsẹ̀ kọ, àní ṣubú dànù, ibi tílẹ̀ tí ń yọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè ayé yìí àní bá wọn rìn ní gẹ̀rẹ́gẹ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn tó láyé wọ́n á fi jíǹkí wa, àwọn tó nílẹ̀ wọ́n á fi jíǹkí wa, àwọn tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ọjọ́ èní wọ́n á fàyè gbà wá nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a mú yìí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn tó láyé á dúró tì wá, ire lọ́tún ire lósì, wọ́n ní àtọ̀tún àtòsí báyìí lẹ́yẹlé fi ń kóre wá, ire gbogbo ló máa jẹ́ tiwa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. àní ṣubú dànù, àní ṣe lásán. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí òbí, ẹrù tálábíàmọ yìí tú wọn ní gbé wá káwa mọ́lé láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Èmi àti yín ò ní fàìsàn ló gbà ọ, àní dùbúlẹ̀ àìsàn fọmọ, ọmọ ò ní dùbúlẹ̀ àìsàn fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ire gbogbo báyìí òun ló máa jẹ́ tiwa. Ajé ògúngúlú sọ àwa filé wa ṣe lé àfọ̀nà wa ṣọ̀nà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àní ṣe lásán. Gbogbo àwa tá a jókòó tá a ń ṣiṣẹ́ irúnmọlẹ̀, iṣẹ́ táwọn ìyá mi ti parí, iṣẹ́ táwọn ìyá mi ti yọ́nú sí, iṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè ti parí, òun ló máa gbé wá fún wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwa ní fọmọ ṣiṣẹ́, àní fọkọ ṣiṣẹ́, àní faya ṣiṣẹ́, àní fira wa ṣiṣẹ́. Iṣẹ́ tá a máa ṣe, tá a máa gbé tẹ̀lé ẹlẹ́ni sórí, tá a máa gbé tiwa sílẹ̀, Elédùmarè ò ní darí ẹ̀ sí wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ire owó, ire ọlá, ire ọlà òun ló máa jẹ́ tiwa. Ẹ̀yọ́nú Ọlọ́run ọba, ẹ̀yọ́nú ènìyàn òun ló máa jẹ́ tèmi àti yín láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Àwọn tá a máa bá dòwò pọ̀, àwọn tá a máa bá da nǹkan pọ̀, tó máa di ìkà tó máa di ìdènà Elédùmarè ò ní jẹ́ ká pàdé wọn láṣẹ Èdùmarè èmi àti yín ò ní tẹ́ ní tìkà àní bákàrìn àní báwọn ẹni bí dòwò pọ̀ láṣẹ Èdùmarè ẹni títí ẹ ti bàjẹ́ àní bá dòwò pọ̀ tá a bá wá ṣèṣì bá dòwò pọ̀ kò ní bá tiwa jẹ́ láṣẹ Èdùmarè àwọn tó la yá yọ́nú sí wa o àwọn tó nílẹ̀ á yọ́nú sí wa o àwọn tó ṣílẹ̀kùn ìní wá yọ́nú sí wa láṣẹ Èdùmarè wọ́n ní àwíṣẹ báyìí òun ni ti fá àfọ̀ṣẹ ní tọ̀hún nìlà wọ́n ní àbátá lágẹmọ́ bá dá òun lòrìṣà òkè ń gbà àwa tún ti dábàá lẹ́ni Elédùmarè ọba òkè ti bá wa fàṣẹ sí ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ti ṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ò láṣẹ Èdùmarè wọ́n ní kí Ifá ó bá wa ṣe k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe a ní kí Ifá ó bá wa ṣe kí Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe kí Ifá ó bá wa ṣe o k'Elédùmarè ó bá wa ṣe àwọn tó ṣàwo kù sẹ́yìn kó bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé o láṣẹ Èdùmarè wọ́n ní ká kí onírú pé wọ́n ṣe wọ́n ní ká kí ọlọ́bẹ̀ pé ó ṣe ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wa jẹ́ náà wọ́n ní ká kí yín pé ẹ kú àìbínú títí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ tá a tún máa pàdé lórí ètò èmi ní tí yín ní tòótọ́ ọbabìnrin Awóbánkẹ́fà tí gbogbo ènìyàn mọ̀ sí Ìyánífá Ẹwà until next week when I will come your way again I remain yours ọbabìnrin Awóbánkẹ́fà popularly known as Ìyánífá Ẹwà the founder of Ifa College. You should head over to the website ifacollege.ng to check out our courses and books and materials that we have for sale. If you are just coming into Ifa, we have a program titled Now That I've Come to Ifa, What Next? Now that I've come back to my roots, what next? How do I start my journey? How do I continue my journey? How do I guide myself on this path that I know nothing about? Ifa College is going to guide you. All the videos that you have watched on this live streaming is available as a replay on our YouTube channel, Iyanifa Ẹwà TV. The YouTube channel is Iyanifa Ẹwà TV. The Kiddies YouTube channel is Ashe Kids Network. Ashe Kids Network. You will be there to watch and guide your children into watching. Until next time, Ifá gbè wá, ìṣẹ̀ṣe á gbè wá, àwọn aláṣẹ kò wá bá wa ṣe tiwa láṣẹ pé o láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. If you have not downloaded my free book, Eshu is Not Satan, head over to the website ifacollege.ng and download a free copy of that book, Eshu is Not Satan. Send the link to your friends, to your family members. Sorry? Send the link to your friends and family members to also download a copy of my free gift, Eshu is Not Satan. Ẹ ṣé gan ni a dúpẹ́ o, ire gbogbo báyìí òun.